Good morning. Good morning to everyone. Let me let me get the Discord informed while they yell at me. And boom. Welcome to Monday, everybody. I hope you had a terrific weekend. I hope your Monday morning is going better than Donald Trump's Monday morning is going. Do I have everything I need? Put L RTB immediate L. Immediate L. You're not a good person, Hole. I don't think. I don't want to speak for others, but I think like most people probably largely agree with me. Where's this? Forget where this end is. Where'd that come from? See if this is working. I don't know if my charger's plugged in or not. We're going to find out. Good afternoon from Canada. I still don't believe Canada exists. I think you're lying to me about it being a good afternoon there. Not only does it not exist, but there's no way it's a good afternoon in Canada. No way. There it is. Just gotta fix a cord, sorry. I know this is riveting. I was not as prepared as I would have liked to be this morning. It's been a long weekend. I've had a sick daughter. I guess I still have a sick daughter, but at least I still have my daughter, you know? And now everything's falling apart here. The whole goddamn thing is coming down. My whole setup's coming down. What in the shit is happening this morning? This is a nightmare. This is just a nightmare scenario, folks. This is a nightmare scenario. The boomer jokes are coming in heavy today. All right, we're just going to have to ditch the light. We're going dark today. Dark RTP. There we go. The second-hand embarrassment. Thank you. I apologize for that start. Thank God. If Fee was here, she would be screaming at me. She did not like those starts. I'm going to start things off with a couple of things. Big news coming out of New York. DC, excuse me, this morning, as a gag order has been partially upheld. Let me pull these up real quick. The judge said that the First Amendment rights yield to administration of justice and protection of witnesses. It is possible to craft a narrowly tailored order to serve those interests. So the judge will not impose any further restrictions on statements about Washington, D.C. or the jury pool. And she's confident the jury selection will weed out impacted jurors. Judge will not impose restrictions or on criticisms. The jury selection will weed out impacted jurors. Judge will not impose restrictions or on criticisms of Biden administration or statements. Trump believes case is politically motivated. So looks like Trump can say whatever he wants about Joe Biden, which is fine. Judge will issue restrictions on statements about Jack Smith, the court and staff, and possible witnesses, that gets weird because you have Mike Pence in there as a possible witness. Did I have this up here? Now would be a good time to switch over to this one. I think I've got it. Boom. There's the there's the potential witnesses against him in other cases. Trump's campaign does not allow him to conduct a public smear campaign. Without restriction, there's a risk witnesses can be intimidated. Anything else? If Trump calls Jack Smith a thug again, Judge Chutkan has promised sanctions. Same is true if Trump targets her, Jack Smith, Smith's family, court staff, or other witnesses in statements. She is not delaying the March 4th, 2024 trial date. So, unfortunately, old Trumpy Bear's going to have to still go to trial. He's going to have to stop saying some of the dumb shit that he's been saying. And that's that. Okay, the other part I wanted to cover this morning, I'll go back to so you guys can see. I spent so much time on this morning. I was so prepared until everything fell apart. I'm being told we're a bit emotional in the comments already. Don't worry, MAGA. We'll get to you. Thank you for... Look at all those hearts. Oh, that was for Trump? Somebody put Trump and all those hearts? How dare you? This was the next one. I wanted to read just part of it. I forgot to cover this a couple weeks ago. Amazon is being sued by New York, Connecticut, Pennsylvania, Delaware, Maine, Maryland, Massachusetts, Michigan, Minnesota, Nevada, New Hampshire, New Jersey, New Mexico, Oklahoma, Oregon, Rhode Island, and Wisconsin. 17 states. Their respective attorney generals came together, and this is kind of what they're saying. They're essentially saying that competition flourished early on the internet, and then you opened up Amazon. Amazon is a monopolist. This is reading straight, by the way, from the case. Amazon is a monopolist. It exploits its monopolies in a way that enrich Amazon but harm its customers, both the tens of millions of American households who regularly shop on Amazon's online superstore and the hundreds of thousands of businesses who rely on Amazon to reach them. Basically, what they've said is this. At this point, as an Amazon seller with all the fees that you have, they're basically, Amazon's getting like 50 cents on every dollar. And it's a pay-to-play scheme now. If you don't advertise with Amazon, you're going to be buried. If you don't go through their protocols where they make money using their shipping, using their warehousing, drop shipping stuff, then you're going to be buried. So really the only way to make Amazon or make money on Amazon now is by jumping through all their hoops, paying all their fees, and now they're being told that they're a monopoly. 17 states are suing them. They're being accused of raising prices while degrading their services. So there's one other thing I wanted to cover. Let me get down here. A critical mass of customers is key to empowering what Amazon calls its flywheel. By providing sellers access to significant shopper traffic, Amazon is able to attract more sellers onto its platform. Those sellers' selection of variety of products in turn attract additional shoppers. More shoppers yield more customer-generated product ratings, reviews, and valuable consumer data for Amazon to use. All of this enables Amazon to benefit from the accelerated growth and momentum that network effects and scale economies can fuel. Essentially exactly what we've been talking about for months now. Specifically about like why we have inflation, specifically about why we should tax more. This is just one more example. This is why you tax more. Okay? This is why you break up monopolies. This is why you incentivize small businesses for this right here. All right. And then we will go back to here. That's the question of that's the question for today. What have Republicans done for you? They've entertained me. They're giving us the most dysfunctional, like maybe the most dysfunctional a political party has ever been. In at least in my lifetime. I'm going to turn this chair a little. I don't I don't remember anything more confusing. I'm being told that I need to explain the difference between impeachment and removal from office because there are some dummies in the chat, so I will do so. Impeachment is a process that happens in Congress. Some would call that the House of Representatives. They can vote to impeach a president. That essentially says, like, yeah, we don't think that his behavior was good. I say his because we've only had male presidents, but it could be the first female president. This could happen too, especially if she's a Democrat. They're certainly going to try. But essentially it says, you've been bad, and we don't like that, and we all vote that you've been bad. And then you go to the Senate, and the Senate can decide, since they have been impeached, because that's where impeachment happens in the House. So once you get out of the House and into the Senate, you have now been impeached. That's how that works. And then the Senate, they can vote whether or not to remove you from office. By not removing you from office, it's not saying that you aren't guilty. It's not saying that you didn't do something wrong. It's saying, yeah, you did something wrong, but we're not going to kick you out of office. So if you think Trump was exonerated on any of those impeachment charges, you're wrong. He was not. He just wasn't removed from office, which does happen. Same thing happened to Bill Clinton. Okay? Does anybody have any questions there in the chat? Trump was falsely impeached. He was not. He was actually impeached in the way that you get impeached. See, when you get impeached, what you do is you get impeached in the House. They impeach you. That's kind of how that works. Chat's also thinking that the Democrats raised taxes. Oh no. Incorrect, but I fucking wish they would. That would be terrific if Democrats raised taxes. That should happen. We're spending a lot of money right now. We're not bringing in enough money right now. I would love it if the Democrats would raise taxes, specifically on people like Jeff Bezos, who we talked about this morning. That would be terrific. That's a lot of hearts. My guy knows nothing about life. Well, why don't you come on and teach me something about life? What would you like to teach me about life? Please, not on me. Well, listen, I don't know. If you're saying, please, not on me, don't raise the taxes on me, and then it's like, because you can't afford it, then I'm probably not talking about raising taxes on you. We should raise taxes on red items, red states, red hats. Yeah, I like that. See, that's a good way. Gas prices are up, and that's a tax. That's not a tax. That's gas prices going up. See, what a tax is a tax is when the government assigns charges to you that you have to pay. So that they might say, we want 30% of your income, and then you have to pay that. And then when you pay that money, it goes to the government. And then the government says, hey, thanks for the tax money, and that's paying taxes. But if gas prices go up, that money's not going to the government. That money's going to an oil company, and therefore is not a tax. Hope we got that clear. Jay is impeached. What's up, Pedro? Good, how are you?
Good, man. Good, dude. Hey, thank you so much for letting me join the live, man. I appreciate it.
You bet.
Hey, well, man, I'll tell you what the Republicans have done for me is actually show me, and show the world and America like how far they're willing to go to represent the interests of a few, and they've just really shown me how like disconnected like the two parties like really are. Like one's rooted in facts and acts to actually make things better for most Americans. Maybe not all Americans, but they cast a pretty wide net. And I live in Florida, so I'm just floored. So at least here in Florida, just what they've done for me is show me what they're willing to do to get what they want, and who they're willing to trample on to win. Right, that's the bottom line, and you can see
transparency. You're saying transparency. It sounds like.
Yeah, no, like they're not even trying to hide it, right? And look at what's happening now when they ousted Kevin McCarthy, and it's just that is their strategy. Let's blow things up with no plan, no backup plan, right? You would think if you were gonna do this, you would at least have somebody already in line, right? But I don't know. So I really don't have anything else, man. I'm sorry if it's not an op. But when I saw this and I was driving, I'm like, ooh, this is what they've done for me. And
good.
And that's about it, man. I won't take too much of your time. I love your show, love what you do,
Thanks,
and
brother.
we'll always show you support. I appreciate you, brother.
Appreciate it. Enjoy getting floored in Florida. I love it.
Thanks, for sure, man. You take care.
Yeah, we'll see it. There we go. I can't hang up for people apparently today. That's apparently nothing's going to go right today. There you go. Pedro in Florida letting us know that he appreciates the Republicans being honest. I appreciate that too. I also appreciate that about the Republicans. Let's go over to see what Newsmax is saying. We still got Jim Jordan still up for House Speaker, and Republicans just pretending like this guy's not credibly accused of just overlooking. Can you imagine if the Democrats put up, like if Nancy Pelosi actually had any of the problems Jim Jordan does? Like all the stuff you guys hate about Nancy Pelosi, Jim Jordan is like credibly accused of looking the other way for sexual assault. Oh, and also he's currently in open defiance of congressional subpoenas. So the very house that he wants to be the speaker of, he will not comply with that house's subpoenas. He doesn't even think that the House should have that power, apparently. That's the guy. Let's go with that guy. Republicans. Let's go with that kind of guy. But at least they didn't get. At least you guys got away from Steve Scalise. I got to give you a little credit on Steve Scalise, the man who said in his own words, "I'm like David Duke, but more palatable." He was the leader in the clubhouse for a bit, but thank God, like 7 Republicans were like, "Hey guys, we can't bring in openly white nationalists. You got to be undercover white nationalists." And they're like, "That's right, we forgot we're supposed to hide it. Sorry, Steve Scalise." He's like, "Yeah, I gotta go. I guess I just gotta go." Beautiful. Open the border. Open it up, and find some people to replace all these Republicans. I'm fine with that. I will trade all the Republicans for everybody currently at the southern border. Straight up trade. All of you guys can all go. We'll just trade you. You know who wouldn't do that trade? Mexico. Mexico would be like, "No, thank you. No, thank you." What are they going to do? What are you going to do in Mexico? Anyways, Republicans, let me know if we can make that trade. I'll try and facilitate it. I can do that. I got to get some light on in here. It is dark as hell. Give me 2 seconds. I'm going to turn on a light. There we go. Cut my taxes by half. Who cut your taxes by half? That's a good deal. Who got their taxes cut in half? Congratulations. That's terrific. Send them to Putin. No country would take that. Fee's going to be double mad. Fee will be double mad if she's here. She saw me leave twice. Anthony, what's up?
Good morning.
Morning.
Just as a gentle reminder, brother, it is Monday, and you are indeed having a case of the Mondays.
I am having a case of the Mondays, and it is Monday. Happy Monday to you.
Yeah, it's a constant reminder that Friday's only a few more days away, right? And we just got to keep grinding it out to get to the next Friday.
I live one, maybe 1,000 yards from a dispensary. Every day's Friday for me, my friend.
Ah, yes. Well, I had to give up all of the adult fun in my life for the last 12 and a half years, and thank God I did because I'm a better person. But freely encourage those that didn't have my problem to continue celebrating things in an adult fashion.
Well, that is very respectful. Thank you, Anthony.
Well, look, just because I had issues doesn't mean everybody else has issues. Right?
That's right. That's true.
And my personal journey in giving up those things helped me discover how to be a better man versus what I was. And again, that doesn't mean other people aren't good adults, right? Assholes exist everywhere. I just didn't need to be another asshole. So I'm glad that I have been given the gift of not having to be an asshole. And look, I think for that and nothing else, I deserve a golf clap, right? Because there's just one less asshole in the world, right? So there you go. Thank you. That was a little bit of sarcasm, but thanks for playing along.
Good par there, yeah.
What you think?
Thank you.
Hey, by the way, this gag order is delicious because now this is why it's delicious.
Okay.
It's like the cupcake is now baked, right? First there was the warning, so the cake mix was put on the countertop. Now the judge is like, you know what? Fuck it. I'm going to bake this cupcake. So now she's baked the cupcake, right? This is step 1. Step 2 is when she takes out the frosting and shuts his ass up permanently because this is not about the First Amendment. She already warned him that these derogatory and threatening comments are not allowed. And by the way, no one is allowed to do this. It's just not about Trump. This is something that defendants are simply not allowed to do. You're not allowed to cast aspersions and lie about people, right? And so people get confused.
I think she
about
said
the
like
First Amendment.
What did she say about the first? She said First Amendment rights yield to administration of justice and protection of witnesses. So again, like it's not absolute, especially not when you're in a court case.
Right, absolutely. And there's this C word, the other C word that I like to always use, which is consequences.
Either word applies for Trump. That's fine.
True, but my wife also works from home, so I have to be careful about what words I use.
You're a smart man. Yeah.
Happy wife, not getting beat upside the head. Happy life. And I'm also a father of a daughter, so look, I was in the Navy for 8 years, but I don't have to swear like a sailor anymore.
That's right. To avoid concussions, it's probably best that you don't.
Yeah, no need to be concussed. I have a business to run and clients that I'm responsible for. And the thing too is that this is really, I think, an important lesson for younger people who are still in school to be able to really see the power of the justice system and the fairness of the justice system. And that's something we don't really spend a lot of time talking about. But these judges are really like, hey, we're going to give you, 15 feet to walk. But when you walk 15.1 feet, we're gonna cut that back, right? And they're giving him all of this latitude, mostly because, he is a former president. And so you don't want to have the impropriety look. Right. But at the same time, no one is free from consequences. And, he's been given so much space to act in inappropriate ways his entire life that the best part is that he's finally getting his. Right.
Yeah.
After all of this life he's had with zero consequences, it's all coming home to roost. And that's a beautiful thing to watch.
The irony is for Trump is that what caused all of this to happen, the reason he's now in trouble is because he didn't have quite the megaphone. He didn't piss off like quite the right people yet. And then he became president and he pissed off all the wrong people. And then it turns out that it's really easy when somebody's been like a lifelong criminal and they're still a criminal. It's pretty easy because they think they never really had consequences. So they're not that great at covering up their tracks, which is what we're seeing with every one of these indictments. He's not a master criminal. He just was able to buy his way out of it forever. And now the stakes are a little higher and he can't buy his way out of it. And you're learning like, oh, you're actually not even a very good criminal. You're actually remarkably bad at it. I heard him today saying he didn't know, he had never met or he never did any work with his like assistant controller of his company. I don't know anything about her. I don't know if we've even met, something like that. It was like, dude, the Trump organization had like 20 people that like worked in the C-level. You definitely knew who this was.
Yeah, well, that's his right. But that's his defense. His defense is that this person is anti-Trump. His like assistant controller that's testifying against him for some reason just has a problem with Trump. It's like, this person worked for you for 15 years. What are you talking about? They were anti-Trump. 15 years ago, she knew that Trump was going to be running for his second term, and so that's why she took the job, and she just plodded along this whole way. She just knew what was going to happen. Yeah, 100%. But remember, his vocabulary is limited because he's not intelligent.
Yeah,
right?
Being stupid makes it harder to have good words. That's true.
Right. But he's got all the bigly best words. So, he's got that going for him. And the ironic thing is bigly is such an old word that's just never used anymore. But actually, bigly is in the dictionary. So we'll give him credit for that one because he brought a term that was hardly ever used back to life.
That's right.
So it's kind of like Latin. Right. Anytime somebody speaks Latin, I'm like, whoa, you took all of this time to learn how to speak a dead language. Congratulations. That in 25 cents still won't get you a cup of coffee.
Wait, but do you know the definition for bigly fits Trump so well? Have you looked it up?
Not
just
since
tell me,
he first said it.
I got it. In a tumid, swelling, blustering manner, haughtily. It defines Trump so well. He is bigly, tumid, swelling, blustering manner, haughtily. Yeah, it's literally the best word to ever describe Trump. It's brilliant, actually.
Yeah, that is almost eerie. How
it's like it was made for him.
Yeah, right.
Yeah,
I'm surprised he didn't try to trademark it.
If it just add like incontinent on the end of that, it would be perfect. Like constantly shitting their pants, it would fit him perfectly. But unfortunately, they missed that right at the end.
I mean, that is kind of funny too, right?
We need to
For-
that's it's from 1828. We could update it. Somebody go on Wikipedia and update that.
right, right. Do it. Hey, so enjoy the balance of your day. In case, I don't know if there's people waiting to come up.
There's not. I just saw that
Okay.
somebody told me that the wind and wells, the windmills and wells was debunked finally. So, anyways, I'm looking forward to that. I hope that seriously happens today. That would be terrific.
The last time I did a long trip on my motorcycle, I went past one of those huge wind farms, and I remember thinking, "Oh my God, I'm going to get brain cancer now."
But that's when you went sober. It just turned you sober. You should say
Right,
that.
right.
We should flip
Right.
the script on the windmills and start just like making up stories about how they made our lives so much better. Like my marriage was falling apart, and my wife and I drove past a windmill and fell madly in love with each other. We had 4 more kids, and we're both millionaires. Like, yeah, wind power, baby. Let's just flip the script on them.
Right. My 2,400 square foot house is now 24,000 square feet.
That's right. Well, that's just how that's just what Trump does on his documents. Did you see that, by the way? That his New York triplex, he had it for the bank for the loan documents. He has it listed at 30,000 square feet. Turns out it's 10,000 square feet. He just
Right.
tripled the square footage for no
Right.
fucking reason. Just I need more money, so now it's 3
Right.
times the size.
Right. And 10,000 square feet is a huge space to live in.
Yeah.
I mean,
But if
we
you-
live in 2,400 square feet, and I think it's plenty of space for 3 people, right?
Now imagine that one of the people that lived in that same square footage with you was a grown man who constantly shit their pants. Wouldn't you say like 2,400 square feet may not be enough? You might be looking at that 10,000 square feet.
yes,
a separate living
I'd
quarters.
I'd be looking at an in-law apartment in the backyard.
That's right. That's exactly right.
Are you a West Coast or an East Coast guy?
West Coast, Arizona.
Oh no shit!
Yeah.
Are you like the Phoenix area? I know
Yeah,
that's
Phoenix,
kind
East
of
Valley of
ubiquitous.
Phoenix. It's like, yeah, I mean, I live in Mesa.
Oh yeah, I know where. Yeah, typically every year around this time, I ride out for the Run to the Res in Globe because I'm a part
Yeah.
of a Native and Indigenous Peoples motorcycle club.
Okay.
Hence the hippie hair and
Yeah.
biker look. But this year I can't go because I just started a new business, so I'm trying to, pay bills and shit. But
That's annoying.
Yeah, it is annoying trying to have money to pay bills. Damn it, being a middle class American to hell.
Yeah, it's annoying as hell.
Yeah, but I love where you live. It's especially this time of year. It's really beautiful out there.
Yeah, it's a great time of year here. Days are in the 90s still, but then nights are cool. It's beautiful.
Yeah. And I'm just east of Los Angeles in the San Gabriel Valley, so it's in the 90s.
Also, I know the windmills you're talking about. That's last time I was leaving LA, I hit those windmills right like when the sun was coming up. So I was blinded, but only like sometimes because there's so many of them. Like they would block the sun,
Right.
so it was kind of like a hypnosis coming through. There was like blind and then windmill, blind and then windmill. But
Yeah,
There's a lot of
what's
windmills
trippy
out there.
At night is the red lights flash on top in a sequence. So at night, there's a big, huge red warning light on them for low-flying aircraft, and it's in a really odd sequence. You cannot be on a motorcycle and stare at it because your brain will literally go nuts. Because that kind of strobe effect, if you're really sensitive to light, will kind of get you hypnotic, right? And so I try not to look at that at night because it reminds me of a bad acid trip. And
that is exactly what I was thinking. I was just thinking of like what would that be like on mushrooms? That I'd stare at it for 10 hours. Yeah.
yeah.
Don't worry
It'd be
about it,
fun
people.
Be fun to camp out there and get a cheese pizza and some blue stems and put it on the cheese pizza. But
Sounds like a date.
right?
If you ever go back into that, give me a call. I'll meet you halfway.
Yeah, it's too bad you didn't know me in my younger days. I was,
Sounds like you were an asshole. That's what it sounds like.
Well, when I was drinking, I could be, right. But I'm also a deadhead, right? So I'm a
Yeah,
pretty.
look, I see your picture. Everybody knows you're a deadhead. There's never been anybody that's come across you and not said that's a deadhead.
Oh, what are you trying to say, man?
Yeah, you know what I'm trying to say. You know exactly what I'm trying to say.
You trying to say I look like a dirty fucking hippie wearing patchouli?
That's exactly what I'm saying. That's correct. Yeah, you do. You look like a dirty fucking hippie.
Oh, I'm so glad I found you on this platform.
Yeah,
that is fucking priceless. Hey, honey, I just got called a dirty fucking hippie on TikTok. I've arrived.
What kind of business did you start?
I'm in the payments consulting business.
That is not what I expected at all. Payment consulting business, okay.
I've been in the finance and payment space for the last 25 years. I've also worked as a foreign currency trader. I'm a big nerd that loves mathematics and trying to help young fintechs grow and scale by building operational governance framework. And
okay, now all of this is surprising. The rest of you was not surprising. This is actually surprising.
Well, I mean, maybe I'll give you some background. So I spent 8 years in the military, and then I attended and graduated from Brandeis University. And then after working at the university for 3 years, I got a job at Brown Brothers Harriman, which is a private Wall Street bank in the foreign exchange department.
You're a very confusing person.
This is the thing, right? Yeah. You can be what makes you happy outwardly, right? And later I'll change my profile picture back to my suit and tie days when I had really short hair, right?
Yeah.
But I believe that being authentic is super important. And now that I'm in my mid 50s and simply don't give a fuck what people think about me, I just was in Pentagon City at a payments conference, and I was invited to speak on a panel about innovation and global payments. So, this is what I do, right? And I'm very proud of my career and very proud of being a nerd.
That's right. The first time we talked was when you came on. We were talking about crypto, right?
Yeah,
that's right.
Yeah,
now I remember.
That's a big part of what I do.
That's
too.
right. I remember now. Yeah.
Yeah, but look, I went to my first Dead show in 1977 when I was 10. So I've been to 135 Dead shows.
That's a lot. That's a lot. I'll be honest. That's a lot.
Sure it is. But I grew up in a different. I'm assuming I'm a few years older than you. Yeah, like maybe 10 or 20 years older than you. Right. So you got to remember, if you're a kid in the 70s, you could take off for a month with family members and go see the Dead up and down the West Coast as a vacation, or as you got a little older, in the early 80s, you could take off for like a month in the summer with friends. It was a different time, right? And I was very blessed to have a mom who was a hippie. And a dad who loved and promoted music. My dad's a huge jazz head, and he got us really early on into Miles Davis and Thelonious Monk, so we would understand the raw power of music and the majesty of improvisation. He introduced us to Booker T and the MGs and Pink Floyd, and so my parents were.
My parents introduced me to Mormon Tabernacle Choir. Oh, they were like, "This is all you need, son. This is all you need. You don't need anything else."
I forgot you grew up in the church.
Right? Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah. But I would love it. Look, and I mean this in all sincerity and seriousness, if you were ever out here, I would love to take you out to lunch, and we can just sit down and chop it up. It would be, I'll come on my motorcycle, so you get the whole dirty hipper biker.
Well, we'll have to take a picture for sure.
Right. Well, that's the whole thing.
Yeah, with your hair flowing into my face. Yeah, we're gonna have to do that.
Oh God, dude, that'd be beautiful. But what's fascinating, right, is that I have a graduate degree in comparative history and a bachelor's in East Asian studies, right? So
of course you do. Of course, that's what your degrees are in. What the fuck?
There's more to me in the depths, right, of my nerdism than outwardly appears. Yeah.
Yeah. Listen, I come through there quite regularly. Shoot me a DM. We'll connect, because I actually come through there a lot. We'll do this. We'll make it happen, and we'll take a picture.
Fuck yeah.
Yeah.
It'd be really fun is we could do like a 3-minute live from the beach or something.
There we go. There we
Right.
go. Listen,
Right.
I can last longer than 3 minutes. I promise.
Well, it depends on how many bingos you have, I guess.
That's
right?
good. That's a good point.
I'll have water in case you get a little dry.
I appreciate that. I appreciate that. Thank you.
I always thought the funniest thing for me when I was enjoying the herb is that I'd always get a craving for like toast and peanut butter, which is like the complete wrong thing to
That's
have.
crazy with Cottonmouth.
Right?
You're an insane person. Who gets Cottonmouth and thinks toast and peanut butter?
Well,
What did you wash it down with? A cup of sand?
Orange juice.
Orange juice. You're a lunatic. That is the worst high combination I've ever heard in my whole life. That is horrendous.
Yes.
That's terrible.
But if you were ever in a bad way and I am next to you, you will get to see the other side of me.
I don't know
Right.
what that means, to be honest.
Where I step in front of you and I place you behind me and I let the person know that I'm not the one.
That's right. Any of you motherfuckers want to fuck with me? I got Anthony. Try it. And then
Yeah.
and that's when you step in front of me.
Well, it's pretty funny because I'm 6'2", so guys are always constantly that I meet here.
Why
right?
did
They're
I,
always-
Anthony? This whole time I've been assuming you were like 5'7", 135. You just blew me away again with 6 foot 250. There's no
Yeah,
way
bro.
anybody here thought 6 foot 250. We all thought 5'6", 130. I guarantee it.
Well,
That's
it's
crazy.
It's pretty funny because a lot of guys like to run their mouth, right? And I'm a pretty tolerant person, but I have these personal lines and space issues, right?
Okay.
Like if you come up to me, you're like, "Yeah, Trump 2024, bikers for Trump." I'm like, "Bro, I'm in a Native and Indigenous people's bike club. You need to fuck all the way off." Right? Like I'm not your guy. Like I get it, right?
But you understand why they think with your hair that you're their guy, right?
Well, it's because I'm in an MC and I have a vest and a motorcycle and I have
Yeah, they're like,
fucking
oh, he's clearly with us.
right, and,
Yeah.
and tattoos, right?
Yeah.
So yeah. Look, I get it. I look like a guy that was a roadie in the Allman Brothers band in the 1970s. I get it, right?
Yes.
Don't I fucking wish? What a job that would have been. Jesus Christ, those parties back then. Oof.
Yeah. Hey, are you in our Discord, by the way?
Can I be
My
honest
Discord,
with you?
my Discord's going crazy right now, saying please get him in the Discord.
Okay, can I say something and I mean this sincerely.
Did you
Please-
see Lily? Is he single? Oh wait, I'm married.
please don't make fun of me, right?
Okay.
I'm when it comes to fintech and finance and math, I'm really up on that stuff. But a lot of the social media stuff I am still new to outside of like LinkedIn for my professional side. So I don't even really know honestly Discord or how to engage or what to do. So maybe I'll
Discord is just a one big group chat. That's the best way to explain it. Like right now, people are just posting memes. Like it's hilarious. We have some crazy ass people in our Discord. Our Discord is like watching it during a live. Sometimes I struggle because it's so funny what happens in there. It's unedited. You can say whatever you want. The GIFs also somehow unedited. You had some crazy GIFs. So if you shoot me, it's free. If you shoot me a message, I'll get you in the Discord. But they're like, this is crazy. It's going. They are also calling you a boomer, but I am a boomer also. I didn't set up my own Discord. I didn't even know how to do it. I barely know how to do it. But if I don't get you in the Discord, they'll be upset.
I'm not a boomer. I'm Gen X. So come on now. Let's not be silly. Let's not be insulting because I just don't happen to use one particular social media platform because I'd hate to have to embarrass them and teach them mathematics, right? And remind them of how they all got F's in geometry in high school.
One of them, Jake just said, if enough of you join, we get an AARP discount. That's what you miss in Discord.
Okay, so hold on. So I need to sign on to Discord. All right, hold on a second.
No, just send me one of the mods. Will you send him a message? They'll just send you a link for it, and you just copy and paste that into Discord.
Oh, I was going to try to look at you on my phone and look at Discord on one of my monitors.
Well, I'd still have to send you the invite, and I can't do that because I'm on TikTok right now. I can barely send the invite as it is. But one of my mods, send him the link real quick, and then jump on there. They'll get you verified real fast. You can jump in Discord for the rest of this. The chat will be thrilled.
This is awesome.
Yeah.
And they can bust my balls about being 56. I don't give a
They're
shit.
going to.
That's fine.
They're going to.
Fine. Whatever.
It's gonna happen. Somebody said, get sexy math guy in here.
Whatever. You know, the ironic thing too, right, is the fact that in my industry, I work with people who are literally half my age. Right.
Yeah.
And 10 times smarter for the most part. And I think I'm pretty fucking smart. But when you work with engineers that are developing new technology for the payment space, they say things. I swear to God, you'll just see my head nod in acknowledgement. And then I'm writing shit down because I have to look it up because I have no idea what it means.
So, that's basically me every time I speak to somebody under the age of 30. I'm 37. I've aged 35 years in the last 7 years. Somehow I went from I knew what people were saying to what the fuck does that mean? I don't know when that happened, but it has happened.
So I literally am damn near 20 years older than you.
Oh man, you are old. Yeah, this is going to be tough getting you in here, but we'll work through it together.
Okay. Yeah, we'll hold hands and sing Kumbaya. Yeah, dude, I had been watching your lives before I think I subscribed recently and started trying to participate because you and a few others that are on here, Jolly, Fax, T, Barrister, Manda, I was fascinated in the content that you were providing because it's always topical, right? And so the academic side of me is like, oh, well, this is actually fucking interesting.
Yeah.
And then looking at the comments going, how is it that somebody is so disconnected from reality? And then I remember the famous quote of Trump's, I love the undereducated.
Yeah.
Right? And how insulting it is to people. It's not their fault that they struggled in school. It's not their fault that they went to a public school system that's underfunded and doesn't help students learn. It's not their fault. Until you try to get them to accept that they need intellectual curiosity, that critical thinking skills are important.
Yeah.
Until they reject it, it's not their fault, right? Because a lot of people just didn't get to go to good schools. And look, I feel really lucky that I went from the military to a private university. I feel blessed that for some reason they allowed me to go to school there as an adult student, right?
See, but I went to dog shit schools and I got out of it. So there is hope. I went to indoctrinated dog shit Utah run schools, and I did go to school in Arizona for a little bit. I went to Scottsdale Community College. I was a fighting artichoke. And I really enjoyed my time there, but I didn't learn a ton.
That's the mascot?
Yeah, that's right.
Artichoke?
Yeah. I played soccer there, and on our jerseys it said chokes, which not great for sports. Yeah. Yeah. So it was it was maybe like a liberal arts college or something before, and then in Arizona they have a really cool community college program. They have community colleges everywhere, and they're super cheap. So they bought up all these schools. And so the school is changing from whatever they were to a community college. So the students at the time got to choose what the mascot would be and the colors. So they jokingly chose fighting artichokes and made the colors pink and green. And and they just were like, all right. And then it just stuck. So that's still who they are, the fighting artichokes.
Oh my God.
Little knowledge for you hilarious. Arizonans if you didn't know that. Yeah. And I played soccer on the fighting artichokes. And we would say things like, you put your hands in, it's like go team, or you say we would say chokes. And the 11 fans that were there would scream, go chokes. So
that's hilarious.
Yeah.
In my younger years I used to play soccer, and when I lived in San Francisco I was a part of a adult soccer league. So
yeah, I don't even play anymore.
I got bad knees, I can't. It just hurts.
Yeah, well, you're like 70.
All right, bro.
I'm
you
sorry.
Fucking bench press. Come on.
I'm sorry. I'm sorry.
What do you weigh? Like 150?
No, hey, no,
160
I'm like
maybe?
I'm heavy, man. I got legs that fill up any pair of pants. I got a big old caboose too. I weigh a lot more than you would think.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
It's so hard to tell too because you don't know about cameras, right?
Yeah.
Forget the fact that they say they add 10 pounds. The technology, because it fills the space, it's really hard to tell what size anybody is these days. Not that that matters. I'm not trying to make fun of people for their shape or size. Put that out there. I don't do that bullshit.
Yeah.
But, I have to bust your balls somehow.
I appreciate that. Yeah.
Yeah,
I'm a
man.
big thick
Yeah,
boy.
man.
Dude,
What?
let me see
I'm
if I can
gonna
get some. I'm gonna get in trouble if I don't get some Trumpers up here. I've loved every second of
Okay.
this. Shoot me a message if you didn't get it for the Discord and get in there.
Okay. Doing that
right.
now.
All right,
Appreciate
Andy.
you, brother.
Yeah,
Peace.
always. See it. All right, we'll try and bring up some. What's going on the TikTok today? I did see there was somebody in the guest request. Armand, are you opposition? I don't even know. Get to the potato farming. I don't remember. I know we're friends. Sorry, I just never remember. I know we've spoken before. Armand, if you want to be in the Discord, shoot me or one of the moderators DM, and we'll get you the link. What's up?
Won't do that. No.
Deal.
Just kidding. Anyway.
I get made fun of for the way I say
oi, bruv.
deal, by the way. Do I say it weird?
I don't see why. I don't see why.
All right, fair enough.
Anyway. What have Republicans done for me? They've shown me the truth, bruv. They've shown me the truth.
What did they
I
show
could
the
I
truth
could say
about?
with yeah. So I now know what a woman is. I now know that the word woman can be defined multiple ways, and in no way is it defined, does it include all trans women, and vice versa for men.
Wait, what?
I
Can
don't
you explain
think,
that again?
Yeah, I don't think there's a way to define the word woman
Okay.
such that it includes all trans women without significant inclusion or exclusion issues. And I could give you an example.
What's wrong with that?
Well, we have, for example, so
Which Republican specifically did that for you, by the way?
why couldn't, who do you think? Who do you think? Matt Walsh, of course.
Matt
It was
Walsh,
Walshy.
Jesus.
It was Walshy. Now, he's not
was
the end all be
Walshy.
all. It's not the end all be all of my philosophy. There's a great, brilliant guy. I don't know why you're laughing. There's a great, brilliant guy named Dr. Thomas Bogatis. He's the philosopher that I really think everybody in
Thomas
this chat
what?
should really look up.
What was that name?
Thomas Bogardus, Bogardus, and Thomas
right.
is Thomas. He's I think at Stanford, Dr. Thomas Bogardus. He wrote not Stanford.
He's not at Stanford. He's
Pepperdine.
at Pepperdine. Yeah, a little
Pepperdine.
different.
One of those Cali schools.
Yeah, he has a master's in religion and ethics.
Yes.
Yeah.
And he's written on gender.
Oh, good.
He pointed.
I only take my information on gender from somebody with a master's in philosophy of religion and
Yes.
ethics. That's the expert we're looking for.
Based. That's based as frick. Yeah.
Your accent is fading a little bit. You might want to pick that back up.
Oh, bruv, don't know what you're talking
There we
about.
are. There we are.
Anyway, so he goes on to say there's no one definition for the word woman, and this goes for the man as well, as to include all trans women coherently and cogently. For example, if you say a woman is an adult human female, obviously not all trans women are adult human females, therefore trans women are not women. Now, many trans philosophers,
Why aren't they
gender
all
philosophers-
adult? Why aren't they all adult women heroes? Or what would you
because
say?
they're- well,
Sorry,
if-
adult. Sorry, I just saw the word hero, or you said it.
Yeah.
Adult human female. Sorry.
Yeah. Well, they're not females, of course. They're
Why not?
males.
Why not?
Why are they not male? Why are they not? So why are trans women not females? I think it's in the definition. To be trans is to have a gender identity that is different from your sex. Is it not?
No.
Can you? Okay. Well, I didn't realize I'd get pushback on this, but usually it's on the social issues and when you define women socially and on gender. But okay, please explain how all trans women are indeed females.
Because they're females.
Yeah. What is?
Or women, excuse me, they're women.
Okay, there we go. So again, a
Yeah.
woman is if you're defining woman based off adult human female, which is only one definition of the word woman that many leftists reject, and that's fine. Then of course not all trans women are women. That's
I
why,
don't think I don't think that the word female and the word woman have to be intertwined. I think that's
Sure.
a definition that we've used.
Of course,
Wouldn't be the
of course.
definition
So
that I use, but I think it's a definition that we've used.
that's why philosophers like Simone de Beauvoir, of course, I agree. That's why philosophers like Simone de Beauvoir have worked to come up with a different definition to ameliorate the definition of the word woman with
Yeah, kind of
based
what
on,
we
like,
do. By the way, how old are
like
you?
social.
How old are
I'm
you?
23. I'm 23.
When, what
of
year were you
course.
born?
Yeah, 2000.
Okay,
2008.
cool. I just had people say you were underage, so I
I
was
know.
so thank you.
They try to do that. They try that's common. I don't know why. I think I have a manly low
Yeah.
voice.
Do you have a problem? Do you have a problem updating like terms?
Of course not. Of course. But
So
again,
then why
that's
can't
what
we
my
update
point
the?
was.
So why can't we update it?
No. Again, if you listen, I'm not accusing you of not listening, but I'm just saying, of course, there's multiple definitions of the word woman, some more modern than others. Definitely, okay, I'm just going to lose the accent, stupid accent. Of course, we have new definitions for the word woman, such as based on social attributes that, like, Simone de Beauvoir have put forth, like gender philosophers like Simone de Beauvoir, Judith Butler, John Money. He wasn't really a philosopher. Anyway, so yeah, so people have tried to define woman based on like social attributes or gender or get rid of gender altogether.
Why does your
So,
account say it's run by your parents?
because that's a joke.
Okay.
It's a joke. Anyway, so yeah, so that's why. But even if you try to define woman based on social attributes, as some
So
have done in the past,
can I stop you just for
they
a
realize
second?
that not all trans women have
Hold on, real
these
quick.
same social
Hold on, real
attributes
quick.
that define
Hold on,
them.
real quick.
Yeah.
Here's the thing. Here's the thing I want to understand. Like, why do you fake the accent?
Because it's fun. I've talked to you multiple times now.
I know, but
I'm
why?
a little
Like,
hyper right now.
like, what's the shtick here?
What's this, dude? I'm just goofy.
I know, but
I don't know.
why?
Why? I'm hanging around.
It's
I've been hanging around
weird.
with
It's weird
Brits
that you would
today.
fake an accent to come on and then like argue like trans issues. That's weird.
Oh, I'm sorry you think it's weird. I've been hanging around with Brits all day, but yeah.
No, I mean, why wouldn't you just like be yourself?
good?
Because then it just comes up.
no,
It makes
no,
everything
wait,
you're
wait.
saying sound really, really disingenuous when we know that that's not who you really are.
Okay, what
know what I
have
mean?
I said that's been disingenuous, please? I don't want to go down this game, but like, if you're gonna say that, I thought we were having a good talk so far.
We were. I'm sorry to call you out on your fake accent. I'm just asking you a question.
Yeah, it's a fake accent, of
it-
course. I'm goofy. I'm a goofy person, and
Yeah.
I've been hanging around Brits all day, and I think it's fine to have a fake accent every once in a while to express myself.
Well, how does that express? Is this like the anti-trans version of you just has like a British accent? Is that the idea?
No, I could no. I mean, if you want to sound anti-trans, I guess you could. That's like harsh, but sure.
I'm just wondering.
I don't think all trans women are women.
Why?
So again, as I was saying before you switched to my accent.
No, why do
so
you? I
some
don't need
people-
like a whole bunch. I just want to know what
Yeah,
you
yeah,
think.
yeah. I'm trying to. That's what I'm saying. There's no definition of the word woman that cogently and logically includes all trans women, unless you're gonna have significant inclusion and exclusion problems.
What
Meaning
if the
you're gonna
definition
include
is
men.
anyone who says that they're a woman?
Yeah,
Wouldn't that
so that's
include everybody?
circular. Do you know what a circular
No.
definition is? That
You
actually
said
doesn't
no.
mean-
Wait.
That's not a definition.
No, wait.
That's
what
not a
you-
definition.
Sure, it is. What you said, it's a circular definition, fine. But you said
Right, which means
that there's
nothing.
no. Well, hold on. You said there's not a definition that could include all women. Well, that would. So why not use that?
Well, okay, so you realize so that's a circular definition. I guess
Who cares?
I'll amend
Why
my
not
statement
use
if you
it?
really
Who
want.
cares if it's
Wait,
circular?
because we don't
Why
use
not use
circular
it?
definitions. Right,
Who cares?
I'll tell you why. I'll tell you why. We don't use circular definitions in our language because we don't mean anything. Because when you ask what is a woman, you say, oh, that's somebody that identifies as a woman.
Again,
wait,
who
what do you
cares?
mean? Wait, I'm almost
who
done. I'm
cares?
almost done. I'm explaining. I'm almost
But,
done.
but I don't.
When you say-
I
okay,
don't care what we've done. I'm saying
I'm
why
explaining to you.
does it
I'm answering
matter?
your question. Yeah, I'm answering your question because when we have circular definitions, you can't convey any meaning. That's like saying I identify.
Sure it is.
Look at that glibble-glurp. Oh, look at that glibble-glurp. What's the
Okay,
glibble-glurp?
all right.
Oh, no,
Can you just stop copying?
Like a
Just stop. Yeah, you're literally copy and pasting Sambi's arguments. I get it. We've all heard them before. I'm asking
No,
you not
but
to make an
that's a circular
argument.
definition.
I'm asking you not to use like a copy and pasted argument. I'm asking you why it matters.
You can say it's copy and pasted. You haven't refuted a single thing.
I'm
And that's
asking you why
is
it
because
matters,
it's the truth.
dude. I'm
Yeah, that's
asking you
because I care about
specifically
truth.
to you,
Yeah, I care about
not
truth. I
not
care
your
about
copy
truth.
and pasted argument.
Care about
Why does
truth.
it matter
Care
to
about
you?
truth.
How does it
care
make a
about truth.
difference to you is what I'm asking.
Yeah, I care about truth, and I think it's a politically
Okay.
relevant word, just like
So-
the word tax or citizen.
So let me ask this
Can you
question.
say
No,
that
shush,
citizen is a-
shush.
Wait,
Shush.
what?
Shush.
Is this an interview?
No, I'm talking. It is now. It is
You
an interview now.
interrupted me.
It's an interview now. So
You just
I'm
interrupted.
asking you why it matters to you, and you're saying
That's
because like I
disingenuous.
want the words to mean a specific thing. So it matters
No,
more
no,
to
no,
you
I
that
don't
the
want it to
word
mean
has
a
a
specific
clear
thing.
definition than that people identify how they want to identify. That's what you're saying.
I just don't want circular definitions. For
What about
especially-
Christians?
especially-
What about Christians?
Yeah.
What's a Christian?
A Christian is somebody that fulfills the tenets of Christianity as a follower of Christianity.
What do you mean fulfills the tenets of Christianity?
Fulfills the tenets as a follower of the Christianity.
What tenets? What tenets of
I
Christianity?
don't know. I guess they follow enough of the principles, and you could say how much of principles do they have to follow before they become a Christian? I don't know, but that's called the continuum fallacy. I don't know exactly what.
Well,
at what point
some
makes you a
Christians
Christian,
have a
but
specific definition. Some Christians have a specific definition,
When you
right? They
say
would
you
say that you have to
identify as
believe
one,
in
yeah.
the Trinity. Other Christians would say
Okay.
that you don't. There seems to be a disagreement
Sure.
there.
That's
It,
fine,
it
but guess
seems
what?
like there's not
Yeah.
a single definition of Christian that you can encompass everybody.
Wait. That's fine, but that's not my issue. It's not that there's a single definition.
Well, then go
of
argue
Christian
against
can-
that.
Wait,
Why are
wait.
you arguing
No,
against the
no, no,
existence
you're
of
not- because
people?
you're not
There's
understanding.
far more
You're not
Christians.
understanding.
There's far more Christians in this
You're not
world than there
understanding at
are
all.
trans people. So why are you fighting this battle instead of that
Yeah.
battle?
You're not. Well, you don't understand my argument. and I'll
I'm
tell you
asking
why.
you a fucking question. I'm
yeah,
not trying to
yeah.
understand your argument. I'm asking you again the question.
the fact that you're
If it's
bringing this
all,
up shows
if
it's
you care
irrelevant
about
if you actually
truth,
understand my argument.
if you care, could you be quiet when I'm talking? If you care about truth
You interrupted
and you
me.
care about
That's fine.
definitions, then you should care about the definition that affects the most people, which would be Christian. That's way more than trans people. Go worry about that. Or maybe,
wait.
maybe just maybe you actually don't. You do have a problem with trans people, and you've used this as your argument because it allows you to make the argument without sounding like you just don't like trans people.
Well, you could think that. I don't really care what you think if I like or don't like. But again, the reason why.
Why are you choosing
Christianity
this
thing
battle
doesn't
then?
matter-
Why this battle?
Yeah. The reason why I'm explaining, man. Just please listen. So the reason why I don't harp on Christianity is because nobody's saying if you're all atheists are Christians. That would be a statement that I guess I'd fight against if they started saying that. If you said all Christians are atheists or all atheists are Christians, because there's no one definition of the word Christian that includes all atheists, and vice versa. So that's why we're saying if you said
No, but if you're an
certain,
atheist, no, wait, but hold on.
opposing
If you're an
category.
atheist, that's how you identify. If I, an atheist, want to identify as a Christian, I absolutely fucking can, and there's not a
But that doesn't
goddamn
make
thing
you
you can
Christian.
do about
That
it.
doesn't
In
make you
fact,
Christian.
I, as an
Yeah.
atheist, could start a Christian church and get tax benefits by saying I am a Christian. I, as a
Yeah.
Christian, as an atheist, could lie and say I'm a Christian, and I could run for office and abuse like the trust that people have in Christianity to run for office. I could do all those things. There's many things I could do as
I
a
agree.
Christian that are far more harmful than somebody identifying as a man or a woman.
Well,
but you don't care about that. It seems like
I
you have a
do.
problem with
I'm
trans
just-
people.
Well, that's first of all, this is one of the biggest like social issues that seems
Why?
to just have sprung up
Why?
recently. Why? Because I guess there's a push. But anyway.
No.
again,
Where's the
issue-
push coming
dude,
from, Armand? Where's the
dude.
push coming from?
I guess both sides a little bit.
No.
Somewhat,
Where's
I
the
guess
push
it's right
coming?
to
So
push
what's
back.
the push coming from the
it
left?
originally came from
I'm not
John
interested
Money
in
and
your
Judith
argument.
Butler
I'm
and
not
Timothy
interested in
Butler
your argument. I'm
50s,
asking you
60s.
questions. Armand, I'm interested in you answering my questions now. What's the push from the left? What is the
So you're gonna
left
lead me
saying?
down a certain
What is the left?
pre-planned
What is the
copy-paste
left?
argument you have,
What is
huh?
the left pushing about trans people?
That trans women are women. All trans
Okay, and
women
what
are
is the right
That's-
pushing?
That doesn't logically follow.
Okay, and which side is pushing legislation?
Both.
Okay, what's the legislation the left is pushing?
That principles along trans women are women, so that such that I guess you could, I guess males, which are under my view, are under the only really cogent and logical view, are able to invade female spaces. Use
No, which
female-
legislation?
Fun.
Point to some
Well, there's
legislation.
both. There's both. Hold on. So there's both. There's
No, I'm asking specifically for legislation.
Okay, so I'll give you some. So, for example, from the left, there's legislation to provide more trans health care and funding for trans health care. On the right, there's legislation to, I guess,
ban
I don't
their
know, limit
ability
funding?
to identify in public.
No. I think you're talking about drag shows. Is what you're talking about.
No. I'm talking about in schools not being able to use your pronouns in schools, having sex ed only taught.
Sure.
Yeah, only taught with two genders, right? And also
two
not
genders,
also you
yeah.
can't teach homosexuality, right? You can't teach
I don't know
any
if
sex.
you
You
can't
can't
teach
teach any sex but
homosexuality.
vaginal sex, right? Can't talk
I'm
to
talking
kids
about
if they're
trans.
gay about gay sex. Can't do that. You can't talk about a trans person
Yeah.
having sex. How
I would
that
disagree
might
with
work,
that.
right?
Again, I'm talking-
Can't do that. Just
yeah, I'm talking
heterosexual
about-
sex, right?
Talking
Right?
about trans, nothing
Wait,
to
right?
do with sexuality.
Wait, right?
Yeah, I'm not talking about that's irrelevant. I'm not talking about sexuality.
I
I'm
talked
talking
about more
gender
than
and
just sexuality, right? I talked about more than that. I also talked about
Well,
pronouns.
that's not what I
I
talked
talked
about.
about a
I'm
lot
talking
of
about my
things,
issues.
but they
My
specifically
issues
target
just with
trans
trans.
people. So which of the two sides is pushing legislation that hurts somebody?
Oh, I'd say, as far as trans go, I'd say sometimes a right-leaning figure might make too much of a overreach, but I'd say mostly left people.
Left people? What? Wait, what?
I'd say mostly Democrats and people from the left. Have
No,
more
on this
harmful
issue, who's
Yeah,
being
on
hurt
trans?
by the
Yeah.
legislation? The legislation that you pointed out, which I don't even know if it exists, but let's pretend the legislation you think exists
yeah, but-
exists, where
course.
we're pushing for more health care for trans people. Who does that hurt?
I think a lot of people.
Who?
I think anybody that can critically think or have.
No,
the
how does it?
capacity to
Who does
critically
it hurt?
Yeah, I just said anybody who has critical reasoning or
So
or
somebody that
critical
agrees with
capacity
you,
to think,
right?
it
Is what
erodes
you're
that.
saying?
No, it's not just agrees with me. It's just
Okay,
that
but
it's
somebody
saying
along the
something
same
so
thinking
blatantly
as you,
false.
right?
It's somebody who's saying that trans women are women, which is just
Okay, cool.
blatantly
So
false.
how,
That trans women are
Armand,
men.
how does it hurt you specifically?
I think it's an assault on truth. That's my whole. That's the first thing I said. Wait. That's the first thing I said. What have Republicans done for you, bro? Republicans concern my truth.
It's an assault on truth.
Yeah,
How is
and
it
you
hurting
haven't
you?
really
It's an
defeated a
assault
single
on
thing.
truth. Truth is my friend.
Oi, bro.
I must
Oi, bro.
defend it at all
It's-
costs. This is an affront on me. The guy that shows up with a fake accent is pissed off. It's an assault on
Oi, bro,
truth.
yes.
Get the fuck out of here. That argument is so stupid. That is so stupid. How does
you
it
wanna
hurt you?
explain
Give me a
more?
different answer. That was too stupid.
well,
How does it hurt
hold
you?
on. I think it's important to have cogent and logical terms. For
How
example,
does it
I think we
hurt
need-
you? Not
Yeah,
what
yeah,
do
yeah.
you think
I'm
is
explaining. I'm
important.
explaining. I'm explaining.
Stop answering questions I'm not asking.
Yes.
The only question I'm asking is how does it hurt you?
How does it hurt me? Promoting.
Why is the accent
so
back
getting-
all of a sudden?
Yeah, it's back. Oi, bro, it's back.
Oh, this way you can get
so-
out of it. Got it.
Yeah. So, how does it hurt me? Well, by eroding truth and eroding.
And
the
how does that
ability
hurt
to think critically as a
And how does that hurt you?
of civil society.
And how does that hurt
If
you?
we can't think critically, I think that would. Wait.
Yeah,
So
yeah,
you
it's
think-
gonna
yeah,
destroy
yeah.
critical
How do you
thinking
think-
forever. We will never
do you
have
think-
critical thinking again if trans people exist.
Well, you haven't really critically
This is
justified
so stupid.
that trans. You
This
haven't
is
critically
so
justified-
stupid.
You could say it's stupid, but you haven't justified at all why trans women are women. Have not.
It
justified
doesn't
a
matter if I
single-
justify it or not. I asked you
Well,
how it
that's my
affected
issue.
you, and you're like,
wait,
it's
that
going to
was my
ruin
issue.
critical thinking. Dude, get the
Yes,
fuck out of here.
obviously.
Go
This
back,
is an
you and
example
go
right
back
here.
to your
A1
go
example
back to
right
your
here,
Phil
bro.
Bro arguments where people don't get to laugh at
There you
how
go.
stupid
You
it
can say
is.
Phil Bro when you
It's
don't
so
understand.
stupid.
You can call me a Phil Bro when I don't understand, but it's embarrassing that I know very little about philosophy, and yet you call me a Phil Bro as to dismiss.
Because
it.
you're
If you
repeating
think it's
their
stupid-
argument. And you're not very good at it because you allowed yourself to get
You haven't
derailed.
done anything.
Sanvi would be
You're-
furious right now.
you'd be able to
Sanvi
do
would be like,
something.
you allowed him to derail you. You must stick to the talking points. You must not be derailed. And I did derail you. And I got you to admit
There's a
that
specific
none of
question.
this
What have
hurts you.
Republicans done for you? Wait,
None of it hurts you.
Question? Let's just go back. Republicans.
No,
done for
let's
me.
not go
They showed me
back.
truth.
Let's stay
That's-
right here
that's-
for a second.
No.
Let's
because
stay.
you
No.
derailed it. I mean,
We're gonna stay
what
right
have
here for a
Republicans
second,
done for me? Show me
sweetheart.
truth. How? Because
Sweetheart,
trans
we're gonna
men
stay
are
right
not-
here. Armand, sweetheart, we're gonna stay
Oh,
right
stop
here.
telling me that. It makes me
We-
blush, bro.
We can. It'll make it worse. Well, for you, we can move on when you can
Makes me
explain.
blush.
We can move on when you can explain to me how this hurts you.
Yeah, because I think truth matters in a society. I think it's important to have cogent, logical definitions for politically relevant terms, such
Cool.
as
I heard that
tax,
already.
citizen.
How does it
we
hurt
don't-
you?
Wait, hold on.
No. I will not hold on, Armand. You've already said this. I need to know how it will hurt you.
Because
I don't need to know why
society
you
will-
don't like it. I need to know why it will hurt you.
Society will rip at the seams. Society will rip at the seams, which will obviously hurt me.
This will
if you
cause
can't have
society
logical
to
definitions
rip
for
at the
politically relevant-
seams.
Hold on. Do you think definitions matter in court? Do you think definitions? This guy seems like his definitions don't matter in
This
court.
will tear apart society
Says the guy
forever.
Yeah. Wait. Do you think it's important to be able to define, I don't know, like any of the crimes
Are you?
that
Is
Trump
this a
has
Texas
committed?
accent now? No, what's this
Yeah,
accent?
yeah, man.
What is
Do you
going
think
on,
it's
bro? You're
important to be
traveling the
able to
world
define
on one
anything in
call.
politics? This guy, are you saying it's not important to define anything in politics? Is that
No,
what
I'm
you're really
saying that you can't answer the most simple questions, and now you're using a different accent to try and get back on track with your copy and pasted argument that is so silly. It's so stupid.
silly.
Your
It's not
argument
silly,
has
bro.
boiled down to it will tear apart the fabrics of society,
Yeah,
if
if we can't,
and it
if
will
we can't
ruin
agree on
critical
what a
thinking
definition
forever
is
if
that's
trans
politically
people
relevant, I
exist.
think it will. Wait.
This
If
is
we
one of the
can't
dumbest
agree on
arguments I've heard so far.
You could keep grandstanding, man. You could keep.
I am.
But it's not gonna affect my argument at all.
Well, of course not,
So
because
do
you don't
think-
give a shit about your argument. You just got to go. You got to go
Of course I
back to
do.
Sanvi and ask her how you can adjust it. Sanvi, here's
dude,
where I
I
got
already have.
stumped. Sanvi, here's where I got stumped. How could I
I
avoid
already
being
have done
stumped
that.
here again next time? And then you guys will get
Already did
together. You
that.
can jump on your Discord. You can work on your arguments. You'll be like, next
Already-
time,
I mean,
don't
there's-
allow him to ask you how it
there's
hurts you.
nothing- yeah.
That's where
There's
that's where
nothing
you
that
fell
haven't
apart.
addressed a single thing.
When
really
you
haven't
allowed
addressed
me
a
to
single
ask
thing.
you
I
how it
would be
affects
doing
you.
that. I would be doing that if you were half as smart as, I don't know, Parker or Dane. But you're not addressing the argument at all, bro.
Well, go argue with
Dane
them.
can-
They dunk on
wait,
you all
wait,
the
at
time
least Dean
too.
and Parker, yeah, at least Dean and Parker can at least address my argument. If you're derailing
Well, no, they
it and-
what they
like,
can
you
do is they
absolutely just-
Armand, they entertain your argument.
it.
I think your argument is stupid, so I didn't entertain it. They do, and they do a great job with it.
No,
and they
no,
pick you
no,
apart,
no.
and they both pick
No,
you
no, no.
apart point by point. But I didn't really want to do that, so I wanted to find out, Armand, how it
Which
affected
you
you,
haven't been able
and
to
you
do that.
didn't
Can
have
you
an
do that?
answer.
Wait, can you do that? I'd love for you to be able to. I'd love for you to demonstrate that.
I don't want to, and I have to mute you because you keep talking while I'm talking, and this is my live. I don't care about your Phil Bro argument. I don't. And you say you're not a Phil Bro? Fine. I don't care. I asked you
Okay.
how it hurt you, and you can't answer that question. So why the fuck
Yeah.
would I entertain any other part of your argument?
I did.
It's like
did.
if I came to the police and I was like,
So-
and I reported something, they're like, wait, what happened? I just told them a story, and they're like, well, were you hurt? Did something happen? Did somebody break the law? I'm like, no, I just didn't like it very much. And they're like, well, how does that affect you? I'm like, I don't know. It doesn't affect me at all. And then they're like, okay, what do you want me to do, dude? I'm sorry that you're bothered
Wait,
by
do you
trans
think-
people. Like, I don't know. Try to avoid them.
That's not what I said
I
at
don't know
all.
what
I'm
to
not
tell you,
bothered.
dude.
It's
Stay
just
inside.
yeah.
Move to a
No,
red
no, it's
state.
not.
It'll be easier for you.
So again, my argument is that let's just say, do you think it's important to be able to define, like, oh, I don't know, the crimes that Trump has done in a logical, cogent way? Answer that.
Yes.
Great. So politically relevant terms like, I don't know, fraud, like, I don't know, tax evasion, those have to have cogent, logical definitions.
They're also
right?
crimes.
Yeah. Of course. So you think crime should be defined, like politically relevant terms such as crime should
Those
be
aren't
defined in a
politically
cogent, logical
relevant
way,
crimes.
right?
Those are relevant to the legal cases against him. They're not
I said
politically
politically-
relevant. They're only politically relevant because
you didn't
he
hear
is
me.
in the political
You didn't
sphere.
hear me. I said politically relevant terms, like
Yeah,
crime.
they're not politically
the
relevant
word-
terms. They're terms that are legally
what are you
relevant, and they
talking
have
about, dude?
specific definitions, and those definitions are meant as a criteria of of what you have to meet for evidentiary standards. It's completely
Sure.
different.
Good.
Not
Good.
everything
Good.
in life works that way. For example, if I
Good.
said,
No.
you seem cool, Armand, explain that. Can I say you
No,
seem
good
cool?
thing-
What
good
does
thing-
that mean?
Wait. Yeah. It's you're right. No, you're absolutely right. Vague. Cool, the word "cool" is extremely vague. That's why we don't have the word "cool" in any sort of political code. That's amazing. So it's
What do you
almost
mean
like
in
the
any
word
sort of
woman is
political
politically
code? What do you mean by political
yeah.
code?
So, like any sort of law or legislature or penal code or mission statements of like agencies or anything like that. Like the word "cool" or vague terms like that aren't critical to the operation of our politics or government in this country or really any country, right?
Sure.
Right. The
So
word
why
woman,
does
whether you like it or
gender
not,
why does
it's in-
gender need
it's on the book.
wait hold on. So now the question I'm going to ask
I'll
you
tell
is
you, I'll tell you.
is because it doesn't mean anything. It doesn't refer to anything. Are there words that we could
know,
replace?
I know.
Well, wait, because you don't know yet. Are there words we could replace man and woman or male and female with that could be inclusive?
I don't think so. I don't
Sure we
think
could.
so.
Sure we could. If we want to include
Well,
everybody, we can either have new terms or we can
People,
expand.
yeah.
So it's like this, right? In the Constitution, who's created equal?
Yeah, it says men. I
All
understand,
men are
yeah.
created equal, right? But
Right,
we've
right.
expanded the definition of men from what it meant land-owning white dudes to
course.
all men and all women, right? But
That's a
but it
great
just
thing.
says men.
God bless America.
It just
Yep,
means
God
men,
bless
right?
America.
It's almost like
No.
we can expand definitions to make it easier
Right.
to
I
include
agree.
everybody. But we can do it
I
with
agree.
men to women. We can include all women under the word men, but we can't include all women under the word women because that would just be too goddamn confusing for this
demonstrated
country.
how trans
Critical
women are.
thinking
You
would
haven't
fall
demonstrated
apart.
that.
Well, it sounds like we already blew critical thinking up when we didn't
haven't
change
been
it
able
to
to demonstrate
men
all
and
trans women
women,
are
right?
You haven't been able to demonstrate that.
It
so-called
seems
trans
like
women are
we
women. Second of
already
all, we
crossed
do
this
have laws
threshold
that-
when we said
Wait.
men, right?
Wait. So we
It
have
seems
laws
like
that
we
are
already
particular to
crossed this
gender.
threshold. I'm asking a very specific question. I'm going
I
to keep
agree with
talking
everything
over you
said.
until you
Yeah, I agree
respond
with
to it.
everything you said. Dude, relax, bro. I said yes, of course. We expand definitions. But there are, whether you like it or not, laws that depend on your gender. For example, women's spaces and men's spaces, women's prisons, men's prisons.
Yes, so
grants,
expand
federal
them.
grants given to men and women. Whether you like it or not, we have to be able to define a woman for these laws to operate correctly.
Or expand the definition to
what?
include all women.
Well, that means we'd have to change the law. Which is,
No, you
okay,
don't.
if
No, you
wanna get all
don't.
rid of-
Did we change the Constitution?
yeah, you do.
Did we change the Constitution, Armand?
Wait.
Armand,
So-
did we change the Constitution when we
I mean,
included
yeah,
women
like,
under the definition
yeah,
of
we
men?
did change the Constitution.
We
multiple times,
did?
Yeah.
Oh, it says women now?
Wait. No, there's something.
Let me
called
go in
amendment.
there. Let me check real quick.
They're called-
Let me
there's something
check the
called amendments.
Constitution.
Do you
It's
know
been
what
a week or
amendments
two
are?
since I've read it. Let me see real
Do you know
quick.
what amendments are? Yeah, we have changed the Constitution.
Oh, it's almost like we
update.
update. Yeah. Oh, so we updated things later on
yeah,
to
like
clarify
I agree
terms.
with you on that
Oh,
point.
we could do
Almost like
that
I
now
agree with
then.
you. Yeah,
Wait, so we could
almost
do
like I
that
agree
now?
with you on that.
So we could do
Wait,
that
so we
now.
do that now, but there's no way to do that to include trans women under the definition of women.
Sure, there
vice
is
versa with
by
men.
saying all
The-
trans
the-
women are women.
And that doesn't make sense. That doesn't logically follow.
It doesn't logically follow that women were
Can you
men.
go
So
one
I don't
step
know what
further
to
and say
tell you
why?
there, Chief.
Wait, can you say why trans women are women? Please tell me why.
Because
why
trans
what is
women
the
are women.
definition
Can
of
you
woman?
can you tell me why
you
women are men?
substantiate
Can you
that?
tell me
You
why
said that.
women are men, Armand?
Yeah, so that's not a literal definition of the word man. That is a
Oh,
figurative
it's not. What do you mean
definition
it's
of the word
not literal? Well, let's just make this one not literal then. We'll make both of them
yeah.
not literal, and that's for continuity
Well, that's-
and to
hold
keep
on.
the same rules as the founding fathers intended. Maybe a gender specific term should be inclusive. Maybe it shouldn't be literal because that's how clearly that's how the founding fathers intended it, right? Otherwise they would have said
You
men
do
and
realize
women, but clearly they meant everybody, right?
Wait. So you do realize we have different meanings of words, right? Like we have different senses of the word
When
man
does
and
man
women.
mean? When does men mean women?
Yeah. So, for example, since the dawn of man, that means all humans.
Does that mean
right?
women?
Yeah, that means all humans. which
Why?
includes women.
Why? That doesn't
because
make sense. What's the
that's-
what's the definition of a man?
Sense of.
What's
there's
the
multiple
definition of
definitions.
man?
Multiple definitions. Which one do you want?
Okay, pick one.
One of them is adult human male. Two is like.
Okay, so
referring
let's
to the
use
species
adult
of
human
Homo
male
sapiens.
since that's the one you wanted to use earlier. The
Well,
adult
there's
human
multiple
female. So
definitions.
can you
There's
explain to me how from the beginning of man that somehow includes women? Using the definition
since
of
the
adult
beginning-
human male. How is an adult
Wait.
human male a woman?
According to that one definition, again, I said there's multiple definitions, but that one definition would not include women.
Oh, but that's
Good
the
thing- good thing
definition
that's-
you used with woman that you were so upset about. This is the same thing,
No,
isn't it?
That was
It's
one
the
of them.
same
I said
thing,
there's
isn't it?
multiple. I said there's multiple, didn't I?
It's the
I said
same
there's
thing,
multiple
isn't it?
definitions.
Well, if
Wait,
we're
you're
using
not
if we're
understanding a
using
single thing I'm
comparable
saying. Wow.
definitions, if we're using comparable definitions where you said woman is an adult female human being, a man is an adult male human being, well,
That's
it
one way to
seems
define
like
it.
we've already done this. We've already taken man and allowed it to include women. So it seems like this is actually staying in congruity with the way that we already used this. especially legally. Legally, certainly, we didn't mean we have to go check your genitals, right? We didn't mean that legally.
Right.
We meant it as an inclusive term to include everybody. That's why we didn't change it from man or men. We just included women, and we said, you're included
That's
in
one
this
sense
now.
of the word,
But as
for sure,
soon as we
in
try
that
to
one
include
sense of the
trans
word,
women,
yeah.
suddenly our logic will be torn apart. The
Well,
critical
no,
thinking of
here's
our
the
country
issue.
will fail.
Okay, so here's the issue. Yeah, man in one sense of the word can mean all of humankind, right? Mankind, man. But when you
And
say
women can mean
trans
all women,
right? But how are
including trans women.
Wait, how? But so go one step further. Think just a little bit more. Just a little bit more. I know that's hard for you. What? How
Yeah,
are
sure.
trans
Yeah, it's
women
me that's struggling right now. It's me.
Yeah. No, you've been saying the same thing over and over. Trans women.
That's
are women,
'cause you're
trans
too
women.
stupid to
Please
figure it
substantiate.
out.
Well, please substantiate.
I've asked you a question. I've asked you a question. You have to show me how it's different.
Women.
What's the question you're supposed to be answering right now?
I asked you how are trans women women. You've been saying that an awful lot, and you haven't been able to substantiate it.
Same way, in the exact same way that women are men and a woman is a man. In the same way that women
woman
are
is
included in mankind. The exact same way.
Mankind, sure. Okay, in that
The
sense of
same
word,
way
I
that all
completely
men
agree.
are created equal includes women. The exact
okay,
same
this is great,
fucking
this is
way.
great. Wait, so this
However
is great.
that's
So
included,
trans
that's the
women,
way.
Wait, yeah, okay, great. So I'd actually agree with you in this sense of the word man, meaning mankind, meaning all humans. I'd say trans women are humans. Yeah, trans women are a part of mankind. Yeah, in that sense, trans women are men. But that's only in the sense that all people are men. So in that sense of the word, sure, I could agree with you. But now let's use the word women.
I just did.
Yeah. So
Trans
how are all trans women? How are all trans women?
Trans women.
How are all trans women women?
Trans women.
Right.
See how that
Right.
works?
So
you can just expand it to
what is a
include
woman?
trans
What
women.
is a woman? Wait. So what is
No.
a woman?
No.
Define
You
that
have
word.
to use it in the same. You have to use it the same way. Legally,
No, I don't. What are you
yes,
talking about?
legally you have to use it the same way. If you're going to go through if you're going to go through this logically, and you're going to say,
Mm-hmm.
well, how is a trans woman a woman? They're obviously different. Like these are different things. Well, then I'm going to say, well, then explain to me how women are men. If you're going to use that same logic, you have to apply it fairly. You're not applying it to how women can be men, but you are somehow applying it when trans
those are
women
different
can't be
senses of the
women.
word.
It's the same
Well, yeah.
set of
Almost like
beliefs.
they're
It's the
different words.
same exact logic.
Almost like they're different words. So mankind is different from the word woman, right?
All right, cool. This is stupid. If you can't admit at this point that like what you're doing isn't ridiculous, I don't know what to tell you. Like if you
It's
don't
not.
see the
It's just
flaw
that
in
you
your
don't
logic right now,
understand, like,
now is
language.
the time to leave. Go back to Sanvi, get some notes on this, and say, Sanvi, how do I make sure I don't do this
Trust me.
again? Because
If
you're
you had
stuck
engaged
right
in
now.
the
You can't
slightest bit, I
explain to
would.
me how your logic applies in one direction but not the other. You've got to explain why
they're
your
different situations.
logic is applied
Yeah.
differently in these two
Because
scenarios.
they're different situations, they're different words, they're different meanings.
Logic-
I'm the one who's saying.
The
Yeah,
logic
I said
is the same.
Words can mean different things.
The
No, they're
logic
not,
is the
actually,
same.
man. So when you're saying man in the Constitution, they're referring to mankind. They obviously didn't just mean. They did mean a certain type of man, but obviously we thought this is wrong. We fought for what we thought to be an inclusive version of the word man. So I'm with you that words can be inclusive. Words can change. Words could have different definitions. I'm with you on that. But there's no definition of the word woman as to include all trans women as women, unless you're making it so broad as to say a woman is just a person, a human being. Then
Correct.
I guess,
Correct. In the exact same way that a man is
Okay,
just a human
okay.
being. Legally
Okay, so then that's what
legally
I said they
speaking,
have
but
inclusion from.
Armand, in order to stay principled with the core tenets of our country, that all men are created equal, and that when you say all men are created equal, that means everybody. That means everybody must have equal rights, that you have equality. And we've struggled with that. Women didn't have rights,
yeah.
black people didn't have rights. We've struggled with that. So in that same spirit of saying
Yep.
that women are men, I can also say trans women are women because their rights need to be protected under that definition. Do I care what your personal beliefs are? No. Do I care about the rights of everybody equally? Absolutely. And that's why legally and definitionally and historically you have been able to use these words interchangeably to include everybody that needs the protection, everybody that gets the rights. These are all words that we use to grant rights to people, and you're trying to make the definition more simple or more pointed so that you can not give rights to certain people, and I stand opposed to that. And you would have been the person opposing the rights of women. Using your definition at that time, you would not have been okay with women voting, and you might not be still.
You can't even define woman, though. You're saying you're using the word, but you can't.
So stupid. So fucking stupid, dude. We already did this. We already did this. Now you sound as dumb as Matt Walsh.
Yeah, I know. So can we? So I think we can agree. I think we can agree that trans women are women only in the sense of the word woman that is so broad that it includes all humans. So yeah, if we're going to mean women,
when we're talking about rights, then yes. When we're talking about the rights of others, then yes. Do you not support equal rights?
Of course I do.
Of course you do. Okay, then this argument is nonsense.
Separate on gender.
Then this argument is nonsense because you're not arguing for equality. You are arguing that trans people have less rights. Dude, this is stupid.
No, not at all.
This is stupid.
I don't know.
You can keep arguing for this. I'm cool with this conversation ending here. You've been stuck on this exact point for 10 minutes, and you keep going backwards on it. And if you can't admit that you're stuck on that, I don't know what to tell you.
No, I think we agree. Trans women are women only in the sense of the word woman that's so broad that it includes all humans. That's great. Cool.
So everybody should have equal rights, correct?
Yeah, of course. That was nothing to do with the argument. Yeah.
Great. So then what's your argument then? Then what's the issue?
Oh my God. I thought we were going around in circles. You don't even know my argument?
No. What's your issue? I said. No. What's your issue?
My issue? I told you that people say there's this definition of the word woman or man that includes trans women or all trans men. There's no such thing. There's no such thing.
What's your issue? Don't tell me a story. What is the issue for you?
Impacts truth.
No, what is the issue for you?
It's false. That's my issue.
Your issue is that you don't like the logic. That's your whole issue.
Well, did I say that? I said it's illogical. Yeah, I think it's illogical.
Cool. Great. Anything else?
I think it's important to have logical definitions when we have politically relevant terms such as man, woman,
do you think that your logic, if let's just say that you're correct and it's illogical, does that mean then you think the law should be applied based on your definitions?
Yeah, I think we could define man as adult human male, woman as adult human female, as we did for 250 years before, even more than that. Yeah, I think that's fine. Yeah. But glad we could agree.
So stupid. Okay. No, we don't agree.
Good job. Yeah, I know.
We don't agree on any of that.
Trans women are women only in the sense that woman means all people, just like men, like mankind. Glad we agree on that.
Can I help you with anything else?
Also, Republicans want more housing. What I mean by that is that I think really the only way going forward to lower housing prices, because that's a huge issue right now, is zoning for more housing. I think that we see in Democrat. I know you can laugh, but that's if you look at the literature
zoning
on it.
Problem. It's a zoning problem.
Actually, if you look at the literature on it, it really just seems like a physics problem. There's just so many people that want to live in cities, and there's just not enough housing, so there's not enough supply for the demand.
Yeah, it's really zoning. That's the problem.
Yeah, we need to zone for more housing. And
what about all the corporations buying up houses? Is that a problem?
Yeah, that has nothing to do with it, actually.
It has nothing to do with it. 30% of the houses in my valley were bought by corporations. Housing prices skyrocketed, pricing people out of being able to buy houses, which makes more houses available on the market for corporations to buy up, which they continue to do. But that's not a problem. It's a zoning issue.
No, it's not, because if they weren't renting out the houses, they'd be losing money. Unless you're talking about laws.
Some of them are losing money, but the point is that people don't have houses, and the cost has skyrocketed. You don't think that corporations want to own every house in America? You don't think they want to take? You don't think they want to take every piece of revenue they can possibly get? You don't think a corporation like BlackRock or Vanguard wants to own as much of the U.S. housing as they can?
Yep. I think probably if they could at a reasonable for like what's reasonably possible, I think they would try to get as much housing as possible.
Yeah, and the more they get, the more they can get. The more Armand, the more they get, the more they can get. The more they drive the price up and price the consumer out, the more of the housing they can acquire. That's the plan.
Unless there's one company that had a monopoly on it, which hopefully our antitrust laws would kick in, and if not, then I'd be totally.
They're not going to. Have you seen Amazon? We started this with Amazon.
Yeah. So unless we had a monopoly, even if like let's say I don't know 10 corporations own all the housing in America, it still would follow that if you built more housing, there'd be more demand and therefore more supply for holding demand equal. That would drop down prices. It's really
and the corporations would just buy over asking price every time. That's why the prices went up.
But they wouldn't be able.
They have more money. They have more buying power. They can do cash offers.
Wait.
That's the whole point of this.
Do you think they'd rather have $0 or like
No, they want the asset, dude. They can afford to lose money for a little bit for the asset.
But it's not a little bit. Like some of these apartments have been sitting empty for a while.
And when those apartments and when the people who own those apartments go belly up, who's going to buy them for pennies on the dollar? Me and you? No, corporations.
It doesn't even matter.
It does matter. Like
we need more supply.
You're understanding.
More housing.
Do you really go to Columbia? This is crazy.
I graduated actually.
What did you graduate with? What was your degree in?
I just said financial economics, baby.
And this is what you think the problem with the housing market is? You think it's a zoning issue?
Support me. Studies support me.
No, they don't. Some studies would show that zoning in certain areas might temporarily fix the problem, but it doesn't fix the problem that there is a massive wealth shift, and there are people in this country that can literally afford to lose millions of dollars all the fucking time and sit on an asset until it pays off. The transfer of wealth is so severe that there's enough people in this country, 10 to 12 people, that literally could basically buy up the entire economy. They could buy up the market. They could buy virtually the entire market if they wanted to. And you're coming in with it's a zoning issue.
Well, to quote my good friend Joe Rogan, you're not reading the literature. You're not reading the literature if you think that.
All right,
you're not
that's
reading
the
the
end.
literature.
When you said quote Joe Rogan, that's the end. To quote my guy goes to Columbia and he's quoting Joe Rogan. Terrific. Sorry, Hole. I saw you. I just wanted to get off that subject. I saw what you.
Que pasa, RTP.
What's up?
What up, dog?
Hey.
I heard you arguing with him about the women thing, the trans women things. I'm not going to go there. I agree with the guest on that, obviously. Things like, women's sports acts and those kind of things. So that's one thing. But as far as like what I can say that they've done, I think Republicans are pretty good with crime. I'm not going to lie. I think that their policies, at least in my state, seem to be things that target crime, make it harder to be a criminal.
What state are you in?
Georgia.
Georgia. Okay. So what have they done? What did Republicans do in Georgia that lowered crime?
Well, Mr. Kemp, he signed Senate Bill 44. It was a public safety bill, to prevent and reduce the amount of like gang members and gang recruitment efforts, resources for people so they don't end up within gangs. I think that's very good. Those are very good bills. And from what I've seen, like progressives, they typically have like really shit bills when it comes, or really shit ideas when it comes to curbing crime. If anything, like if you look at, Portland or Atlanta's doing way better now that we got our new mayor. Our new mayor's awesome. But as far as like the progressives, their ideas usually involve like giving criminals less harsh sentences. They typically involve like the promotion of like drug usage and criminality in general. And a good example of that is
it seems a lot like you're speaking in general. So which cities are you specific? Like pick a specific city in a specific way that they.
Let's do DC. Let's do DC.
Okay.
DC for one, right? So Joe Biden himself actually had to step in and support the GOP on this bill because the DC crime bill that was for 2023, was just promoted by the Democrats, was so insane that even Biden had to say, "Hey, this is too
what
much."
Was insane about it?
The bill.
Wait.
So it says.
Wait. Hold on. But hold on, real quick.
Go ahead.
Before we go there, can we point out that a bill that was not approved would not back up what you're saying, that like Democrats made it worse, right? Because if it wasn't approved and you're pointing to this, you're just saying like a bunch of people thought this wasn't going to work.
Yeah, they tried to get it to work.
Okay, but you understand that wouldn't be proof that like the Democrats did something that makes it worse. That's just proof that a lot of people thought it was going to be worse, right?
Well, that's DC, but if we use Portland, Oregon, then I would be showing you a very clear indicator that it made it worse. Or Los Angeles.
Okay, well, why didn't you pick those
indicators.
ones then? Then why don't you
This
pick
is
one of those?
This is the one I wanted to lead with. I wanted to lead with this one.
But no, wait, it didn't happen. So let's pick one. Let's pick a place where Democrats put in a law, and then you can show me how crime got worse after the Democrats put that in.
No, you're missing the point I'm making. The point I'm making is, especially with this, is that the Republicans have bills that are to dissuade criminality.
Yeah,
And what I'm
prove that.
pointing out-
I'm
what
asking you to prove
I'm
that.
giving
I know that
I'm
you
giving
said
evidence.
that. I
I'm
know that
giving
you said that. I'm asking you to prove that. Like when did Kemp get in office for the first time?
Kemp got in office the first time. Damn, how long ago was that? He's been in office for like 8 years, I think. I think 8 years he's been there.
Let's
Damn,
see.
a minute.
He became the guy
2016,
since
I think.
2019. Okay.
2019, okay. Maybe
All
that
right,
was recent.
so-
Now, that was a re-election, wasn't it? 2019, wasn't that his recent re-election? This is re-election.
I mean,
He
when
went-
he took when
He went
Brian
against
Kemp
Abrams twice.
when Brian Kemp took office, crime was like at almost historic lows.
Okay, I'm not understanding the argument.
What did he do? Crime was at historic
Because
lows.
crime went up due to COVID across not just this country but the entire world.
I know, but when
I
he took
mean-
office, it was at historic lows. It sounds like everybody before him was doing a good job. I'm asking you what he did.
Yeah, I told you it was Senate Bill 44 is the most recent bill targeting criminality and criminal behavior in Georgia.
Okay, but is that in place?
Yes, it's in place right now. It's already passed.
Okay, and has it decreased crime? You said it was Senate Bill what?
44.
Okay, and has it reduced crime?
Reduce the amount of gang according to
I lost you.
what Kemp's
I
office.
lost you.
would
What'd you
argue.
say?
You hear me? I said it
You broke
reduces
up.
the amount of gang recruitment, reduces gang recruitment efforts according to what Kemp's office is reporting.
Okay, so
I haven't looked at the
basically what it
actual
did is it
numbers.
increased mandatory minimum penalties for street gang terrorism. So it was just making the mandatory minimums higher. So if you're involved in that, there's a mandatory minimum. You can't be let off. You can't get less years than the mandatory minimum. It's just setting a mandatory minimum. And you're saying you're saying that there's somehow evidence that has dropped crime, right?
And also it says.
By the way, Portland is ranked number 62 in overall crime in the United States. Out of the top 100 cities, they're number 62.
That's because crime changed in Portland, though, right?
What? Okay. Well, I'm giving you the stats right now.
Like,
but-
I mean, of course. It's
hold on.
If you
We'll
legalize-
go.
ahead.
I was just responding to that. That was my fault. We can go to Portland in a minute. But again, can you show me? So this bill's not even all the way in place. I'm looking at it right now. It's like slowly being put into place. Where am I reading? Yeah, it's not even. It goes through 20. It includes stuff that's budgeted for 2024. So
I'm
again,
on a Georgia
the two
Reporter.
things that you've shown me so far are a crime bill that's not in place yet and one that didn't get passed as your proof for Republicans doing something and Democrats doing nothing.
I got more. I mean, it's not even that it's not.
Okay,
it's in
but can
place
we
right now.
agree
It's already
that
been
so
signed.
far you haven't provided any proof?
It's already signed. It's already signed.
No,
into
no,
law.
but it hasn't been put into place. So I'm saying
What do
so
you mean?
far
What do you
could
mean
we?
by hasn't been put into place? What do you mean by that?
The first one, the one in D.C., never got put into place.
Sure.
And this bill mostly goes into place in 2024 because it was signed in 2023, which means all the budgetary items would be for 2024 because we already have a budget for 2023. You can't add
thought this-
budgetary. So the budgetary items would go into effect in 2024. So mostly not in place, right?
It was signed at the beginning of 2023.
Yeah, but budgets are passed at the beginning of the year, right?
Oh, okay. You taught me something new then.
Yeah.
Um,
You can't just
It
put
says-
something in place like in the middle of the year unless you have. I mean, you can call like a special a special session, you can do emergency funding, but for the most part, what you're discussing is stuff that's going to be in the next year.
It also means that he also signed House Bill 227, which strengthens criminal penalties for damaging critical infrastructure. Um,
See,
the
there's really been no. If you look at the evidence for like do harsher sentences lead to a reduction in crime, the evidence of that is iffy at best. You've seen as like mandatory minimums have been dropped in a lot of places over the last 10 to 15 years, but crime, despite what you are told on TV, crime largely in the United States has been just declining since really so like 93 when you had the crime bill, it was really high. It's been on basically a precipitous decline. You saw a peak in like 2005 to 2007, and that's when like economically there was a lot of strain. You were starting to see that gap between the rich and the middle class, and there was that tension. The poor get more poor. You're seeing it again now because the poor have gotten more poor. It seems like crime almost always just follows economic tension. Seems to have very little to do with like overall as a country who's in office.
No, I disagree. I'd say you are 100% right. Of course, when you say that crime follows poverty, that's a no-brainer. The more poor people get, the more you're going to have crime. But who holds office also affects crime. Now, earlier, when you mentioned like Portland and them being number 62, well, they legalized heroin, meth, like all drugs are legal in Portland.
Okay.
The city suffered for that.
How did they suffer?
Have you not seen the
Videos?
videos coming out of
Exactly.
Portland?
See, that's called propaganda. I need you statistically to tell me how the city has suffered, because I've been in a lot of cities, including my
If I
city,
showed
which is
you,
like I live in Mesa, Arizona. It's probably like the most Republican, one of the deepest red places in the state. I literally was picking up Mexican food the other day, and I saw somebody shooting up right outside. So I see that shit too, and I don't say, oh goddamn these Republicans. I say, man, times are tough. People are poor. I'm seeing more people. I'm seeing more homeless people. I'm seeing more people on the streets around my house than I've ever seen before. And my first thought isn't, oh, it's these damn Democrats or damn Republicans. My first thought is, we are having, like, economically, we're having some struggles right now, because
you don't
that's when you
believe
see
that like
homelessness
certain
rise.
policies. You don't think that because Portland has an increase in homelessness and drug addiction and these other issues,
Everybody does. Every major
but
city
not.
in this
Let's
every
be
major
real.
city in
It's
this
not the same
country,
level.
every major city in this country is seeing an increase. And the places where you see the increases that are maybe most noticeable are places where there happen to be a lot of people. Generally speaking, the wealth disparity is bigger in bigger cities because, like I talked about with the last guest, is that you have a smaller supply of housing. You have a bunch of people with money and corporations who can afford that housing, and people get basically priced out of being able to live there, and they have really no choice at that point. They have no money to move. They can't go anywhere. A lot of the people who are homeless are still working. They can't afford a home.
When
We had a
places
young lady on here that was she lived in San Francisco without a home for like a year and a half. She was working full time the entire time. She said about half the people that lived where she lived actually had full-time jobs. They just literally couldn't afford to live anywhere.
Did you hear about like how these stores like Walmart and Target, how they're and the Cracker Barrel up there in Portland, that they closed their doors because of theft? Like,
Yeah,
do you not think
yeah.
that? Do you not think that? Go ahead.
Crime follows economic troubles.
But hold on, hear me out, because you said that so I'm pointing to the policies about the criminal behavior, and it
Fine, but you're
seems to be.
ignoring the fact that like we are having economic
I
troubles right
understand that.
now.
I already acknowledge the economic troubles, but that's got nothing. And that you are right. That does play a factor in whether or not crime increases. I'm not disputing that.
Yeah.
What I'm also saying is that the policies that certain places have for the criminal penalties for these individuals who are mass thieving places, having flash robberies where they go in the stores, break everything in the shelf, take everything off the shelf, right? When there's no penalty or there's very lax punishment for these things, you're going to see an increase in them because there's nothing. Society's not
No,
saying, hey,
see, you're
we should stop this
you're
behavior.
misidentifying the problem, and I can give you a perfect example. I live in Mesa. I'm divorced. My wife lives in where we used to live. So my wife and my child live in a very nice neighborhood, a nicer part of Mesa than I do. I have something small just for me, works for me. Where I live, it's a much poorer area than where my ex-wife lives. If I go to the grocery store, when I go shopping for groceries, generally I'll go there. If I go to Walmart or CVS or Walgreens, nothing really is locked up at all. But if I go to Walmart and CVS and Walgreens in my neighborhood, things are locked up. It says it's the same city, it's the same police force, it's the same local government, it's the same national government. But in the poor area, those things are locked up. Why? Is it because the people are worse people? Or maybe when people don't have money, they get more desperate?
No, people are going to get. I didn't. Again, we're not disagreeing that the poverty is linked to crime.
But you
another
have to
thing that is
understand,
linked to crime is bad policy. And
But I live-
unfortunately,
but hold on.
progressives have shit policy.
why is it only in the poor neighborhoods?
What do you mean it's only in the poor neighborhoods?
The crime is largely in Portland, in San Francisco, in Los Angeles, where I live, in Phoenix. The higher rates of crime, always, including these things like in Walmart and CVS and Walgreens, they are almost always in the areas of town that are the most poor.
But there are areas that are not in the poor. There are places in the non-poor areas where stores are getting flash mobbed. You got people who are poor. I guess.
How are all the poor people getting to these rich? So is it the rich people?
Allow me to finish.
Is it the rich people?
I don't even think from what I've seen and what I've read, and I can point you probably to a few articles after I get settled here in a second. I can point you to places, right, where stores are getting mobbed. These are stores in nice areas, right, that are getting flash robbed. Entire Walmart, Targets, Louis Vuitton stores, places that are, that are in a poor area.
And who is breaking into those stores? Wait, who's breaking into those stores?
You gotta let me finish.
No, I don't, because I don't. Who's breaking into those stores?
People are breaking, all sorts of people.
Do you think those are wealthy people, or do you think those are poor people?
I think it's a mixture. Actually,
you think it's a mixture? You think?
Yes, 100%, absolutely. Tell me why you don't think so.
Because why? If you have the money to buy something, why risk being caught committing a crime?
Because it's happening. Because it's a trend and it's all over the country. That's
because it's a trend. It's like a TikTok
It's a trend.
dance.
Yes, it's a trend.
What?
Yes. Yes.
Wait,
so
it's it's trendy?
Yes, it's trendy. Let me Did you hear about the individual who went into New York City?
Crime is up because it's trendy.
Do you remember the guy who went up to New York City? This is a few weeks ago. He said he was handing out free PS5s, right? Free PlayStation 5s. Now you had people, rich, poor, middle class, etc., all out there. Some were there for the actual event. Some were there just to destroy, just to flash mob these places. There are people who are on, so there are TikTokers themselves.
Hold on,
there are TikTokers themselves. One is named Meatball. You can look the person up. Her name's Meatball. During the Philadelphia BLM protest that they had, this individual live streamed himself along with 100 other people saying, "We will eat, we will eat, we will eat." And they went into the TV store in the Best Buy and they took all the TVs out of the Best Buy. Right? Some of these people aren't poor people. These aren't people who are stealing for food.
Real quick.
If they were stealing for food, they would be taking.
Hold on. Okay, dude, you've talked for like 5 straight minutes. You can't make 30 points and ask me to let you just keep going. So I'm going to ask, the first question I'm going to ask is, have you checked the economic backgrounds of any of these people?
No.
Okay, so you don't know if what you're saying is true or not, right?
I do.
How?
Because if they're poor, why are you stealing TVs?
To sell. What the fuck are you talking about?
Why not?
You think people are buying expensive things because they just?
Question. when they rob the Walmart, right? That was in East Chicago. When they robbed the Walmart, why are you
shifting stories now? Wait, no, you don't get This is not time. This is not new story time. This is not new story time. I'm talking specifically about the people that you said, the one guy and the 100 people with him, and you said not all of them were poor. And I said, do you know? And you said no. And then I said, so how do you know that some of them weren't poor? And you're like, because they took TVs. So again, just be honest. You don't know. Be honest. Do you know?
None of us know. What makes
Okay,
you
well,
think they're
which
poor?
one? So maybe you should stop making claims if you don't know.
I'm not. Look, okay, you're right. You're right. What I'm saying is, you can't assume that these are just a bunch of poor people who are going out and just who are only people at these events. Some of these people don't have need for nothing. They just have want and
It's
desire.
not it's
They
not
just
to
have want
say
and desire to destroy.
it's
It's
not to
simple.
say that everybody who has ever stolen something is a poor person. It's to say that generally, when you see things like theft, larceny, burglary, those types of things are not usually crimes committed by people who are wealthy. They are usually crimes committed by people who are not. People who are looking to get something to sell, somebody looking for a quick buck because times are hard, or maybe that's just the life they've lived, that's all they ever know. It's not to say that like everybody who has ever stolen something fits into one demographic, but you can look at the crime rates in these cities in all across the country, and the only thing, if you look for decades worth, you take 40 years worth of data, the only true correlation that matches up almost literally every single time with spikes is that you had economic insecurity, economic instability. The poor got poorer and the rich were getting richer. It lines up perfectly
You don't
every
believe that
single
policy has an effect on crime?
hold on, it lines up perfectly every single time.
I'm asking you. You don't believe that the policies that certain cities put in place have an effect on whether or not criminality breeds?
I think what the policies of the cities do is they may be able to catch more people. I've never seen evidence that a city being tough on crime or having tough penalties disincentivizes people enough that when times are hard that they won't break the law to get things that they need. There's no evidence ever that has shown that being tougher on crime in those moments or having stricter punishments in those moments deters crime.
So certain cities don't have the same issues as. So I live in Atlanta, right? We don't have a flash mob type event. These things don't happen in Atlanta, but these things happen in LA. These things happen in Chicago. These things happen in Philadelphia, right? And I find it interesting because the
I'm
policies
seeing
are different. The
I'm
policies are
seeing
different
a
there.
bunch of videos. I just went to YouTube.
Uh-huh.
$300,000 stolen from these are all in Georgia. This one
Yeah, what
is
was it? Like, what was it? Explain it.
this is I'm telling you, this is some sort of like jewelry store.
Yeah, like what was it? Like, what was it? A flash? Like everybody went in and they all took everything out of the store. Like 300 people, like 100 people came by and took everything
This
out of
was
the
an
store.
Atlanta. This was an Atlanta clothing store.
What was it called?
Toussaint Namdi on Piedmont Avenue. I don't know shit about what's expensive. I don't know
Oh, it's
anything
all good.
about expensive
I don't know
clothes.
either. I don't know either. I'm not a clothing guy. But
All right, well
you're
that's
saying
in
they
it.
flash? You're saying they flash mob the store?
That's what it says. Yeah, literally, flash mob steals $25,000 worth of clothes from Atlanta store.
Shoot, when was this?
This one was February 23rd.
Of this year?
I just left that one. I can go back. Sorry, this is not Georgia.
'Cause I'm seeing
Glendale.
flash mobs, but most of the flash mobs
2022. It was 2022.
Okay. So it's 2022 in Buckhead.
I don't know. Let's see.
Okay. So it's in the richest area. It's in the richest
It
area.
was in Atlanta. It says Atlanta.
Yeah,
I don't know.
that area is in Buckhead. That Tucson two-store, that's a rich ass area, rich ass store. It's the richest zip code in the whole state. To be honest with you.
Seems
But
like
that only
seems like a
kinda
place people will go to get expensive things.
But how would a poor person get there?
How would you could drive together in a car? Do you think all poor people don't have cars?
So you're saying so you think that 4 or 5 poor people just happen to
Like
all hear about-
they could have carpooled. Yeah, sure.
Right.
What are you talking about?
Yeah, but what makes you believe that they're poor people as opposed to just criminals who are just trying to catch, break, and rob a place?
Okay, well, the same reason, we can just assume based on statistics that people commit those crimes generally are more poor. Statistically speaking, they were more poor.
Yeah, statistically they're more poor, but that doesn't take away. What I'm basically getting at though is that the policies that are in place are going to have an increase or a decrease on whether or not these things are
But
going
you
to
haven't
happen
shown
more
me any
frequently.
evidence of that. You just keep saying that, and then when I asked you for evidence to show that what Republicans are doing are fixing that, you gave me a bill that didn't pass
you
by
got one-
Democrats and a bill that gets put into place next year. You haven't given me any evidence.
So you got one flash mobbing in Atlanta, right?
I mean, I could
Compared
find.
to-
Do you really think
Yeah,
that's the only
I
one?
I would say in terms of clear volume between a city like Atlanta or let's say Birmingham or what's another tough one, Dallas, Texas, or any of these kind of cities, I would say that the likelihood you're going to have more of these flash mobs are unlike. You don't see or hear about, on average, stores like Walmart and Target just leaving, Cracker Barrel just leaving areas because of theft. That happens mostly in blue areas, blue cities.
How come? Why do you think Trump called Atlanta a toxic war zone, or a violent crime war zone?
Why? I'll give you a good example reason. So I live.
Oh, he just said that.
Yeah, that's perfect. That's totally fine. I totally agree with that. So the reason I think that is because we actually, or was it at the end of last year? End of last year, we had a 16-year-old boy spray and pray 4 other teenagers in Southwest Atlanta and Mechanicsville over a disagreement. Okay.
By the way, I'm looking at property crimes. Atlanta in the last it's from 21 to 22. We saw violent crime significantly drop in Atlanta. Now homicide was up 6%, but grape, robbery, aggravated assault, those were all down. 15%, 14%, and 8% for violent crimes. But when you take away the violent part of it, burglary is up 9%. Shoplifting is up 14%. You're seeing the same shit happen in Atlanta that you're seeing happen everywhere else. It appears that you just don't know that. Motor vehicle theft is up 5%. You're seeing the same rate of change that we're seeing all around the country in big cities. It seems like you're being either obtuse or dishonest about what's happening in Atlanta.
Listen, all of it's going. Look, everyone's getting poorer, so everyone across the country is involved in more theft. I'm not disputing that. I'm simply saying that because of certain policies, right, you're seeing more of these flash mob type things.
You can't point to you can't keep saying this. I'm cutting you off again. I'm cutting you off again because again, you're providing no evidence for what you're saying. You see, this is the problem that Republicans generally have. They do not require evidence for correlation to be causation, right?
So if I give you some evidence,
if 2 things happened and the Democrats are in office, then it was the Democrats and they made this happen. You have to look at the causation. You have to look at the causative factors, and you haven't looked at the causative factors in any of this.
So look up like the LA Times.
Why are you not responding to what the fuck I just said?
I am.
Don't ask me to look for a source then.
You asked me for evidence.
Okay, in Georgia? You want me to go to the LA Times for Georgia?
Look, you said we're making comparisons, right?
Yeah, but you were just talking about Georgia. Why are you going to LA now?
Excuse me. You brought up a single case in Georgia.
No, I didn't. I just gave you the crime rate in Georgia. I just showed you it was up 15%.
You're not listening.
You're not listening. I just gave you the crime rate in Georgia. It's up 15%.
I understand.
For shoplifting.
For
burglary.
So listen, we shouldn't look. I don't want to argue things that we already agree with. I've already conceded that all over the country, the rate of theft is going up because people are getting poor. We already agree with that.
You did say in Atlanta it was. You did say in Atlanta it wasn't.
No,
so I want to be clear on that. You said not in Atlanta because of our policies.
I'm talking about
No. You don't get to pivot away from this. You said, look at Portland, look at D.C. This isn't happening in Atlanta. You said there's no flash mobs. I found a flash mob. Then I looked at your rate. Your rate, it's gone up almost 15%. You were wrong about
15% of all theft or flash
shoplifting.
Mobs? No, okay, awesome. Is shoplifting? Is every case of shoplifting?
Oh my God! Now you were talking specifically about flash mobs. Got it.
That's the whole point I'm making.
That's what you started with, dude. You're out of your mind. What are you talking about? Look, you have pivoted. You've pivoted now. So now you're saying that the reason you came on here was to say that Democrat policies lead to flash mobs, and even though Republican policies still somehow lead to increased crime, they're not flash mobs. That was your point from the start here. Was that your point from the start here?
my point was to say that it increases not only the flash mobbing and the leaving of stores for communities, especially communities for people of color but also at least progressive policies lead to heavy drug use and drug addiction. Yes.
Please show me the data. Stop just saying shit that you believe. Provide some data at some point today.
Okay. So
you provided. You realize you provided none, right?
Okay, I understand. Do you want the drug addiction statistics first from policies where they decriminalize drugs, or have less, or when they change the penalties for possession and all these things, and how that shows that these people are more likely to be?
Please bring the stats.
Gotcha.
Please bring the stats.
Give me 1 second. Okay. So first, I'm gonna give you Portland, right? We talked about homelessness crisis earlier, and now you'll see that when they decriminalize drugs like meth, crack, heroin, go to OregonLive.com. There's an article called "The Hidden Toll of the Homelessness Crisis: Portland Prized Natural Areas."
Oh, wait, hold on. Oregon. What's the name? What's the article called?
It's a hidden toll of homelessness crisis.
Okay, let's see.
Yes.
All right. It looks like they're saying that there's more littering.
Yes. Why?
Because there's people that are homeless. They don't have any place for their stuff.
Why the giant increase?
Because there's more homeless people.
Do you think that people doing crack openly in the streets leads to littering?
No.
Homelessness? Okay.
No. Dude, this was your argument?
Yes.
Oh my God, this was... Your argument was there's more trash because they legalized drugs? Not that there's massive wealth disparity. Not that there's economic hardships. But people are littering more because... I'm not done making fun of you. People are littering more because they're on drugs. That was your argument? Good Lord, dude. That's
you just laughing.
That's a swing and a miss.
Only shows that.
No, because what you would have
you're desperately trying to like dodge.
This article is saying that there's
like
more. This article is saying that there's more trash because there's more homelessness. What you're saying is there's more trash because people are doing drugs. You don't even agree with the article you just sent me. The article doesn't say what you're saying. If you're going to use sources, they should agree with you, not me.
Yes. So why don't you read the source? Yeah.
I'm reading it.
So, yes.
At no point does it say more people doing drugs cause this.
Does drug addiction lead to increased homelessness?
Generally, what happens, if you look, is that income inequality leads to drug addiction, which leads to homelessness. Generally, it goes in that direction. Shush. The drugs are going to happen anyways. Arresting people who already are hooked on drugs, who have gotten there because of their wealth inequality, arresting them doesn't fix any of the problems. The only thing it would do is put more people in jail, which would cause the prison system to boom, which is great for Republicans because they make a lot of money on the prison system. They love those private prisons. If you wanted to do something to fix it, maybe do something about wealth inequality so we don't get here. But you're looking at the middle. You're not looking at again, I asked you, I said you have to look at the causality. You gave me an article that doesn't agree with you, and then you skipped the causality, which the article talks about, and you decided to make it about criminalizing drugs. Because why? Because you're a Republican, and Republicans stand for nothing and virtually nothing. They just want to blame everything on Democrats. They don't care if they have the answer. They just want to blame Democrats, and that's what you're doing.
I'm actually, with all due respect, first of all, I'm actually not a registered Republican.
I don't give a flying fuck. You're a conservative. You act like
that is different.
If it walks like a duck, if it quacks like a duck, it's a duck.
As long as you're acknowledging your miss.
I don't care. I know, because you're not going to address anything that I say. You just said, actually, I'm not a registered Republican. Republican. I'm not going to address any of your arguments. I'm just going to focus on the part where you said I was a Republican.
Because you're moving away from the drug addiction thing.
No, you don't know. You can't prove the drug addiction.
Let's have the discussion. So
let's
do you believe that?
Shut up. Hey, shut up for a second. Shut up for a second. Shush, 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 shush.
Are you going to have the conversation?
No, I'm going to tell you to shush and tell you shush. So shush.
Okay.
Do you believe that wealth inequality leads to drug addiction?
I believe it can, yes.
Okay. So then why don't we fix wealth inequality? Why are you talking about the drug addiction?
Because that's part of the problem as well.
No. We've looked at crime rates. Wait, hold on. We've looked at crime rates. We agreed earlier in this conversation that the only statistical thing that we can always link to an increase in crime is wealth inequality. You agreed with this already. You've already agreed with this. So now why are you purposely misinterpreting the problem in Portland? Why? Because it's run by Democrats. That's why you're doing it. That's why you didn't know what was going in Atlanta, because you're like, oh, we've got a Republican governor. He put in this new law. It's fixing it. We're good in Atlanta. Let's talk about Portland. We pulled the stats for Atlanta, for Georgia. Turns out Georgia's having the same problem as Portland is. So if they're both having the same problem, where you're seeing a big increase in homelessness and you're seeing an increase in crime, why don't we address the one thing that earlier in this conversation you and I already agreed upon is the number one driver of all of this? Why are you talking about drugs? Because it's a Democrat. That's why. But you don't want to look at any studies that have been done on this. You don't want to look at Denmark, where when they legalized drugs and they gave people an outlet to have clean drugs and a place that they could go, they could do their drugs safely and also have resources to turn their life around, it dropped their drug use by like 800%. And it got people back to living normal lives. And those people were productive. They got jobs. They got educated.
The city of Portland disagrees with you, host.
You wouldn't look at that.
Host, the city of Oregon disagrees with you, okay?
The city of Oregon is not a thing. That's a fucking state.
It says, this is Oregon Public Broadcasting.
Oregon is a state.
I understand.
Oregon is a state.
The city of Portland, sorry.
Oregon can't disagree with me about what happened in Denmark. Oregon can't disagree about what happened in Denmark, dude.
We're having a nice discussion.
No, we're not having a nice discussion. I'm being an asshole right now while you're trying to change the subject.
You're being very emotional.
I'm being an asshole right now while you're trying to change the subject. If this article does not disagree with what happened in Denmark, then don't read it.
So, could I make my point now?
Are you going to respond to anything I said, or were you just Googling sources the whole time? Okay, what did I say? Repeat what I said then.
Right. Could you allow me to finish?
I would like you to tell me what I just said.
First of all, earlier when you asked me a question, I was asking you a question, then you cut me off, said shush, and then you asked me a question, then let me finish mine. Then you went into a long diatribe and long discussion and topic about drug usage and how it's linked to poverty, and that we should solve poverty, et cetera, whilst completely dodging the point of the drug issue that I'm bringing up. For some reason, you like to skirt away from the drug usage.
Yeah, because I'm going to what causes it. Because I'm going to what causes it. Shush. Shush.
Now you're going to talk over me.
Shush. Yeah, I am going to talk over you.
This guy's amazing.
Because I'm going to go to what causes it, and you're not. You refuse to go to what the cause is, and that's why I keep stopping you.
You're stopping me because your arguments are weak and wanting. That's why you're stopping me.
Yeah, that's what it is. Yeah, you're doing so well. You're doing so well.
It means your argument's shit.
You're doing so well.
So look, here, right? It says, this is your city on fentanyl. This is the City Journal from Portland. Nearly 2,200 homeless people died in the county in 2021. 82% of those deaths involved drugs. This is an increase, okay? This is because of bad policy that your people decriminalize drug usage.
Prove the link. Prove the link.
Sure.
How do you prove that is linked to decriminalizing it?
Portland has a homelessness problem. Of the 5,000 homeless individuals in Multnomah County, 3,000 were unsheltered in the coldest night of the year. It also has a drug problem. The drug overdose rate has doubled between 2018 and 2021.
Yeah.
What year did they decriminalize fentanyl?
I don't know.
Okay. You should look into that. Yes.
What year?
2020.
Okay, so you gave me stats from 2018. So it was already increasing. It was already increasing, and then you're now
Would you let me finish?
18, 19, 20, and you're going to say that it was because of the legalization when that
Sure.
didn't happen until 2020?
Are you
Your
gonna let me
stats make
finish?
no goddamn sense.
Sure,
They make
you're
no
gonna finish
fucking
now.
sense, dude.
All right.
You
You're
just gave me
screaming.
data from 2 years before
Look,
they
You
decriminalized.
got
What
cognitive
are you
dissonance,
talking
clearly.
about?
You're very upset. If you
You
let me
don't
finish,
know what
man.
you're talking about. This
know.
is so
If you
stupid.
scream, the more you scream, the more right you are. You're
Well, I
absolutely
can keep screaming all I want. You just gave me
know.
the stupidest stats
I'm gonna go.
possible.
I'm gonna go do some work. I think
Good for
I'm
you,
gonna let you
pal.
hold your L. I'm
Good
gonna
for
let you hold
you,
your L.
pal. Have a great day. You did really
sir.
well today. You did great. Could just like one of his facts like lead to something ever? Gives me 28 to 2021. This was clearly caused by something that was passed in 2020 and took place and went into action in 2021. We will now go backwards, and we were going to blame all of our problems for the last 3 years on something that we just put into place. So stupid. Or maybe what Portland saw, maybe Portland saw this massive increase of drug use, and maybe Portland saw that there was wealth inequality and said, hey, like, we can't use all of our police resources going after people who are addicted to drugs. It won't fix anything. We need to put our resources someplace else. Maybe that's what happened in Portland. That was just like, that was crazy. Opposition only in the box, please. I'll give you a sec. Littering, yeah, littering is the problem. Every single one of those sources was just so stupid. I'm sorry for not letting him talk. I know some of you maybe wanted to get some of that. I don't remember. I feel like I've talked to DJ Tony Stewart. Littering and littering and please, opposition only in the box, please, if you could. DJ Tony Stewart, welcome.
Hey, I don't think we've talked before.
Okay, I just feel like I made a
just gonna
Tony
be real
Stewart
quick.
joke once.
Oh, maybe we did. We
Yeah.
did talk. You're right. I'm going to be really quick because I'm not opposition. But I
Okay,
used to live
very
in
quick.
Portland for 17 years. Guy was making my skin crawl listening to talk about my city. I mean, we've lived all over that area. It's got homeless, but I've been all over. I just got off tour. I was in Canada. They have the same issue in Canada. The difference in Canada is like they do in Denmark. They have the people have health care. They can get their drugs tested. They have support in food. The guy was telling me at the venue I was at was basically like, say, look, man, we were kind of like, oh man, we don't want to park our cars around here. Or, he's like, you know what? We don't have cars get broken into because they have their needs met. Portland's main problem is cars get broken into. That's what happens. Stuff gets stolen because these people don't have jobs. They don't have the housing pricing and disparity is super high. It's hard to work and then live someplace. So just like you said, the economics creates this type of thievery. You know what I mean? And if you can get people working, get jobs, you probably won't see this problem. But Portland is not as bad as people try to make it seem. Every city has these issues. Just because Trump decided to focus on Portland in 2020, everybody wants to look at Portland like it's just some type of like dive hole, and it's really not.
Yeah.
But anyways, I'll let you go, man. I know you want
You're
opposite
good.
box. I just had to say that. There's somebody else in the chat saying Portland. There's all kinds of areas in the Portland greater metro area. The city does have some issues, but you've got Beaverton, you've got Damascus, you've got Oregon City, you've got Oak Grove, you've got Gladstone. You got all these areas that are super well policed. Don't have a lot of homeless hanging out in those areas. Multnomah County does have homeless. Clackamas County does not. Either just the way it's set up. The police push everybody into Portland. The outer, all the other suburban cities, they get pushed into Portland. That's why they're all there. And so, I mean, like you said, they're using their resources. The police are using resources. They're like, we're not going to chase these people. They're here. We know there's like there's a certain area downtown Portland where there's a lot of homeless. along the Columbia River. There's people are camped out over there. There's certain areas where you know where they're at. And so it's not the whole city. So I just wanted to say that.
Appreciate it. I'm going to play a clip for you. I'll drop you down. I'm going to play this clip that I saw this morning,
cool.
but I think it'll back you up. This, I don't know if you've seen this. This is from a news segment on Judge Jeanine, whatever, and she had somebody. They were in Seattle. You guys have probably seen this. Hopefully, if this is your first time hearing this, this is beautiful.
To the progressive hellscape, where residents mocked the idea that the city is spiraling out of control.
I've never seen any crime in Seattle. I've never seen any of it. I've seen fun and laughter and fun.
I don't believe that number.
People, they're, getting robbed out here, carjacked.
I've never heard of anyone getting robbed.
Crime is a social issue that could be solved by giving people their basic needs.
It's not a thing that happens just on the street. People don't just come up and try to rob people on the street. Do you walk around every day like someone's going to rob me every second?
Seattle decriminalized drug use, and then they criminalized it again.
Oh my God, who are you getting these facts from? You're from New York. Apparently you're listening to the wrong people.
I saw a lot of people shooting up on my way down here.
Oh, did you? Okay. And they were bothering you?
I was in a car, but, people...
Oh, no, you're in a car. Oh, no, they were hurting you so bad. Oh,
no. That's an actual Fox News segment. And that lady just, oh, no, they hurt you so bad. And the look on her face as she just mocked him openly. It's beautiful. Look, crime is up. It is. It's crime is up in every city. But when Fox News goes out there to try and make everybody feel unsafe, and they just get mocked relentlessly to their face, and that's what they had to run as their segment. They couldn't even run a segment saying like, look at all these people we found who were worried about what's happening in Seattle. Their segment had to be like, these people are so delusional, they don't even know what's going on in their own city, because they couldn't get anybody in downtown Seattle to freak out. And if you saw the people walking around, these are just normal people. Nobody looks scared. It's a nice day in Seattle, which means it's like raining, because that's every nice day in Seattle. But that lady mocking them is hilarious. It was one of my favorite things. All right, Parker, you've been waiting a while. Sorry for that.
Hey, what's up?
Hey, how are you?
I'm good. How are you, man?
Good.
So I'm like a fresh kind of voter. I turned 18 a few months ago.
Congratulations. Welcome to the voting pool.
I've just been having discussions, and, I don't even see why I would vote Democrat, like, I don't know. I don't like how a lot of resources aren't even being used for America reasons, like being used for external countries. Like, I don't know.
Yeah, where do you live, Parker? Red state, I'm guessing?
I live in Florida, so it's close, but red state,
okay.
kind of, but it's always close every year.
What do you think matters most to you for your future? Like, if you needed the country to be like a certain way, what kind of things would you like to see in place to make your future better?
Low taxes.
Why?
Because I don't want to waste money.
What do you mean you don't want to waste money?
Well, I mean, like, once I get like a full-time job, starting career like with a family, I don't want to have to pay absurd amounts. And maybe medical is super expensive too.
So maybe like if you didn't have to pay for your health insurance, that'd be good.
Not fully not pay, because I would just that's hard to do. You know what I mean? I don't know.
Sure.
It's expensive.
So if you wanted like less expensive health insurance, what do you think we could do to make your health insurance less expensive?
I don't know, like Canada, like what's going on?
Go to Canada? Yeah, that would probably make it less expensive if you went to Canada.
Well, like,
you're talking about like universal health care?
I don't know. Like what do you, is Democrat like? I'm sorry, I'm not like super educated. What even is Democrat stance like overall compared to Republican? Like, what's the main difference between it?
On healthcare specifically? Is that what you say?
Kind of, yeah.
I mean, there's nothing I could say like here's the difference between Democrats and Republicans. That would just be like my opinion. But on healthcare, Democrats largely want to lower the cost of healthcare. They want to do that basically by depending on the Democrat. A lot of Democrats like myself very much in support of Medicare for all, where as a nation we would pool our money essentially. We would negotiate with pharmaceutical companies. We'd have better healthcare for less money. There'd be no out-of-pocket. When you go to the doctor, you don't pay a copay. There's no deductible. Everybody has health insurance. Everybody's basic needs are met. You can go see a doctor when you're sick. You can go to the hospital when you're sick. You break your leg, you don't have to worry about like going bankrupt. Like, right? Do you have a job right now?
Just like a $20 an hour job at a local store. But
are you on your parents' health insurance?
Yeah. Still,
Okay,
I'm still in high school. I've just got a few months. Yeah.
Oh, gotcha. Just turned 18, but still in high school. Okay. So when you get out, let's say you're off your parents' health insurance at some point. Let's just say you go out, you get a job, you're 18. Your work offers health insurance, right? You get your health insurance. They're going to charge you, I don't know. I would say I haven't looked recently. I'd imagine somewhere between like $300 and $1,000 a month. Somebody can tell me if that's reasonable for your health care insurance or your health insurance. Then if you go see a doctor, every time you go see a doctor, you're going to have a copay. If you have medical bills, you're going to have to pay your deductible before that. Do you know how a deductible works?
Yeah, I would know that.
Okay. So a deductible, let's say it's $5,000, let's say $5,000. You're working $20 an hour. You're paying rent. You're trying to pay for food. Essentially, probably work for $20 an hour. If you had your own place, you're basically living paycheck to paycheck, right?
Yeah, I don't know.
Okay. Now imagine you break your leg. You go to the hospital. You have an ambulance ride. Every medical bills add up to $25,000. You're responsible for $10,000 of that, right?
Mm-hmm.
Because that's your deductible. Now you don't have $10,000, right?
No, I
No,
don't.
probably not. So then at this point, you have you have some options. You can get a credit card. You can put the debt on a credit card. If you have good credit, you can put that on a credit card, or you can work out a payment plan with the hospital and try and pay that back to get your deductible, right? Because you have to pay that $10,000. The insurance pays the rest. Now you got to work out a plan. Now if you default on that plan, let's say you lose your job and you miss payments, you get behind, you can't for whatever reason pay, the interest goes up. Eventually you could be bankrupt, right? Those medical bills would cost too much. You wouldn't have the money to cover it. They're coming after you. They're trying to garnish your wages. Eventually you may have to file for bankruptcy, or they just start taking money out of your check. At that point, if they start taking out, let's say $200 to $300 a week out of your check, now you can't afford to live in your house. Now the place you're living, you can't afford anymore, or you can't afford to eat. So now what do? Hopefully you have your parents to fall back on, but let's say you didn't. Let's say you lived in a new state, you didn't have any friends or family you could fall back on. Probably going to live out of your car, right?
Yeah, probably.
Or go find a room to rent, right? Something like that. You have to, because of your health insurance, which is supposed to cover you. You now can't afford your own place. You're either living in your car or you're living with a friend, you're sharing a room, something like that. Your life got so significantly worse just because you broke your leg.
I know, but like having Democrats, but in like, I got like when I vote next month, like having Democrats. Oh wait, no, not next month. Next year in a month. Having Democrats been like pro getting healthcare like less expensive for like ever now. It's just nothing's really happening.
We have, yeah, and there's a reason for that. The reason for that is pharmaceutical companies, big pharma, and healthcare insurance companies, they deal with each other. They're paying each other, basically, right? They cover the drugs, so the pharmaceutical companies can't charge more than what the health insurance companies are going to be willing to reimburse. They're negotiating with each other. They argue with each other, and both of those, both the healthcare companies and the pharmaceutical companies, their main agenda is to make as much money as they possibly can, right?
Mm-hmm.
So if the more Americans can afford, the more they're going to charge, right?
Yeah,
they want to make as much as they possibly can, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So if you allow a healthcare system where the health insurance companies operate for profit and they're allowed to get as much money as they want, prices will never come down, right? Why would they?
Yeah, so like for those.
So you have to take away the incentive of the health insurance. You have to take away the money incentive from one of those two entities, either Big Pharma or the health insurance companies. If we take it away from the health insurance companies by getting rid of health insurance companies and all negotiating together as one. We now go negotiate with the hospitals, with the drug companies. We say, this is what we're willing to pay, and this is what you can charge us. Every other country in the world, virtually every other country, pays 4 times less for their drugs than we do. We mark it up 4x. Our health insurance is 4 times more expensive than our drugs are 4 times more expensive than virtually anywhere else. Our health care, what we actually spend as Americans per American on health care is more expensive than any other country in the world. And many of those countries have better health care systems, and they don't pay anything out of pocket. And they're paying like $8,000 a year. I think Canada pays like $6,000 or $7,000 a year on average, maybe a little less than that. Maybe it started with a 5. I can't remember off the top of my head. Everybody pays less than us. So the only reason this hasn't happened, the only reason that we don't have socialized healthcare or Medicare for all is because there are a lot of people standing in the way. The entire Republican Party and some Democrats who take money from these healthcare companies, and they need that money. It's important to them. They do a lot of work for these healthcare companies. They've made a lot of promises to these healthcare companies, and if they turn their back on those healthcare companies, their funding dries up. So like, you can't vote for Republicans and you can't vote for moderate Democrats.
So you think we shouldn't pay for them to make money? We should only pay for us, for healthcare kind of for us? Like, there shouldn't be like a profit for anyone?
I don't see why like a healthcare CEO, what is a CEO of a healthcare company need to make $20 or $30 million just to pay your medical bills? Because that's all they do. They just pay your bills for you. Right?
Yeah.
Yeah. So why do they need to make $20 million? Why do they need to make?
Like,
they don't need to make any of that money, right? It's our money. It's our health. So why not just pay the people who actually provide us the care, the doctors, the nurses, the hospitals, and the pharmaceutical companies that provide the drugs and the apparatuses used? This third party, this healthcare company, like, why are they involved at all? They're not doing anything. They're literally charging us more to pay our bills. Why would you, if you had like, if you were living paycheck to paycheck and I came to you and I was like, hey, dude, do you hate paying your bills? And you're like, yeah, I do. I'm like, I'm going to pay all your bills for you. You're like, great. And then I said, but I'm also going to take like 25% of your money to do it. Are you cool with that? Would you be cool with me doing that?
No,
you'd be like, I'll pay my own fucking bills. Get out of here. Right?
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, that's what the healthcare industry is. They're paying your bill and you're paying them insane amounts of money to do so. You can pay your own bills. We're Americans. We can pay our own bills. We do not need anybody else to pay our own bills. And additionally, we could just pay the doctors ourselves, but sometimes we have economic problems, right? Sometimes we don't have that cash on hand. Some people are really wealthy. Some people aren't. Some people ebb and flow. So sometimes we have to choose between like paying for our medical care or paying for our house. So the solution to that is we all pool our money together, so that some of us will use healthcare sometimes, some won't. We pool that money together and we go to these pharmaceutical companies and we say, hey, you're dealing with us now. And there's just the government. They're dealing with the government. And the government says, here's what we're willing to pay. And they can say yes or they can say no. And if they say no, they don't really have anywhere else to go because they need us. There's 350 million of us. They rely on us to stay in business.
Yeah, but
so it's literally giving all the power back to the people.
There's some people that they lose money on. Like, that's the whole point. Like, they're making profit, but like for example, like if I go to the doctors, the charge is that I just hand them my health insurance card, and it just goes away. You know? Yeah,
but that's what this would do. You would go to the doctor. You would show up to the doctor. He or she would do whatever, right? Like, let's just say you're going in to get your lymph nodes checked. They do the checkup. They may send you with a prescription for something that you have. You go down to the pharmacy, you pick up your prescription, you go home, and you have spent $0. And the doctor gets paid, and the pharmacy gets paid, and the drug manufacturer gets paid. Everybody gets paid, but you didn't have to do any of it. You didn't have to worry about how much money was in your bank account that day.
That's fair.
You didn't have to worry about forgetting to pay your bill. There have been people who have been in trouble just because they forgot to pay a bill.
Yeah, I agree with you on Medicare.
There's 30 million people in this country right now who don't have health insurance, meaning there's 30 million people right now that can't go see a doctor There's countless of millions others who choose, can they afford, even when they have insurance, can I afford my deductible? Can I afford my copay? Can I afford to go see a doctor? And many times the option is like feed my children or go to the doctor, and a parent's almost always gonna be like, fuck that, I'm feeding my children. That overall is worse for us. We should not have that choice. In the country that is supposed to be the greatest country in the world, the country with the most resources of anybody in the world, it should not be a choice whether or not we have to feed our family or go see the doctor. That's silly. Mm-hmm. We can afford it. If you look at Medicare for All, the average American pays about $12,000 a year for their health insurance. Under Medicare for All, it would cost between $8,000 a year and like $13,000 a year. So worst case scenario, it's slightly more expensive than what we have now, but most likely it's cheaper than what we have now. And nobody has the choice of like, I can't go see a doctor. Everybody gets to go see a doctor. Doesn't that sound way better than the Republicans saying, hey, we gotta talk to these health insurance companies and try and get them to charge less money?
Yeah, but yeah, I agree with your Medicare. Can I move on to another topic?
Sure.
Good point.
Thank you.
A big debate is like our borders. Do you think they're secure enough or not?
It depends on what you mean. I don't know. Probably not. The real issue with the border is not like how secure it is, but like how we manage the border. What's the best way to manage the border? That's what I would compare when I'm looking at Republicans versus Democrats. I would say, what's the problem? The problem seems to be, there's a couple things. The problem seems to be, number one, like a lot of people come across at a time, and in those border cities, they don't have the resources to deal with that. That's a big problem. Problem number two is like drugs. Drugs come across. Problem number three, you have people who are trafficked. That comes across. Problem number four, you have people who are coming across the border illegally because they want to work illegally, because that's their only option, and the employers want them there because the employers can pay them less. That's a problem. So for me, if it was, I don't even know if like, I don't know which Democrats have this as a border policy. I know the Republicans don't, but for me, I would say go after the people who hire illegal labor, decriminalize certain drugs because that disincentivizes people from smuggling drugs here. Be strong on trafficking. Focus your attention on the trafficking of human lives, and then make it easier for people who are coming here to work to come here and work. Then they'll pay into the tax system. They'll get fair wages. It works for all of us. There's 9 million jobs here in the United States that need to be filled. We clearly don't have the people to fill them. We need people to fill those jobs. People can come in if they want to work.
But like, shouldn't they do that like legally? And clearly, like, I know you're listing a lot more negatives than positives on the border. So a lot of these things like trafficking, it's like people in different countries that we can't prosecute because they're not in our own country. Like we can't send them to court or whatever.
If they're arrested here,
if they get arrested here.
Yeah. So a lot of that stuff we can't do. But when you're talking about the people, when you say people, like, shouldn't people come here legally? Shouldn't we incentivize people to come here legally? Well, when people come here illegally, it's not because they just like breaking the law. It's because it's easier for them to get here illegally than it is legally, right?
Well, yeah. Well, okay. That's easy. That's like, it's easier to cheat in school than do the work yourself.
Correct. Yeah, sure. But why are most people coming across the border most of the time to work, right?
Yeah.
Okay, so the people that are coming here illegally, they only have one way to work, and that's illegally, right? So if we took away the carrot, people here in the United States that hire people who are not authorized to work here, then we remove that carrot. If people knew that they came across the border, they could not get a job, they would do it legally, and vice versa. If we made it easier for people to legally come here and work, whether it's giving them citizenship or just allowing them to work here and pay into our tax system, that's going to, and then we push all our resources into, let's make it easier and let's give people coming across the southern border the resources to come do this quickly, where they can get through the process quickly. If we revamped our system, we wouldn't see these problems. Being stronger, putting the military on the border, being more physical. People are willing to risk their life for a better life. We have to change like the way that we attack the problems we have on the southern border. I don't think either party does very well with that, though. I don't think Democrats or Republicans are very good on the border.
So, for the border, you don't think we should just? Why don't you think we should like block them and make it like instead of how I don't know how many years it is, like, isn't it like 5 or something, 10 with what? Some other stuff to get into the United States and pass it?
It can be, sure.
I don't know the exact like how to get in, but like I know it's a long process. So why don't we like make it shorter and like build a wall? You know, like. So I mean,
well, because the point is why spend all that money on a wall when what you can do is on our end just make it so that people don't want to come here to work illegally. Make it possible or impossible for somebody to work here without the ability to work here, right? If you go after the employers, the people who are employing the illegal migrants, then you're going to say like then. There's no more carrot for them. There's no reason for them to come over illegally. And then again, because we need the workers, we have to make it simple for people to come here and work. We have to make it quick. We have to make it easy. Farmers can't be waiting. Where I live, like we have farmers who rely on migrant labor. They cannot be waiting months at a time with huge delays because the crops are the crops. They need to be harvested. They need to be planted. They need to be taken care of on a certain timeline, right? So go after the people who hire people illegally, and then make it easier for the people who want to work here come. It's both. You do both of those things at the same time, and then what are you building the wall for at that point?
Well, because even though it's easier, it's still going to be faster to just get in.
Not if you can't work here. What are you coming for if you can't work?
When we find people that are hiring illegally, we go after them, but sometimes it's hard.
We go after the workers. We don't go after the companies very often. It's so easy, dude. It would be so easy. The truth is, people in government know that our economy, just so you know, is very, very propped up by illegal immigration. The amount of money that goes through our economy, the amount of money that is funneled into like Medicare, into Social Security, into unemployment because people use fake Social Security numbers or people use Social Security numbers of somebody else. All that money goes in and they never collect out of it. Our economy is propped up on the money that has been brought into it by illegal immigration. That's just the truth. And so, and people in Congress, politicians, they know this, but they can't say it. They can't say it or they get in trouble. Mm-hmm. Right? But that's the truth. So that's why they don't act on it, because they know that there are certain economies, specifically agriculture, that we'd have a real problem with if we cracked down on labor.
Yeah, but fair enough. I'm going to probably drive home now, but thanks for those points, bro. Giving me some good thoughts.
Congratulations on making it to 18. Vote blue, no matter who.
Thanks, man.
I do.
Thanks for the thoughts, yep.
Yep, bye. All right. Again, just looking for opposition only in the box. I don't recognize any of those names, which is unusual. So if you're in the box and you're not opposition, if you could drop down like real quick. We will go to Joanne Gawley. Joanne.
Puzzled by the fact that people don't get that making money from healthcare is disgusting. And I also don't get the fact that people are not acknowledging that the U.S. has deported that many guns to the drug cartels who are terrorizing the people that are fleeing them. And then they wonder why they're coming. And more drugs are brought in from points of entry than over the border. And acknowledging those facts instead of demonizing poor people that are being terrorized by the millions of guns being flooded into their country, we seem to forget those facts. So that's all I wanted to say. I'm really disgusted by the way that people are turning immigrants into some sort of boogeymen. Like, these are people. What's up with borders anyway? We pay taxes through everything we buy and everything now. So what is it? This is disgusting. Sorry, as a Canadian that's lived in Australia for 20 years and Japan and Fiji, I find this targeting of certain people gross. And all it is a bunch of rich men with their fingers pointing. And then all these weak arseholes who know they can't fight rich people go after the targets. It's gross. I know, because Republicans called me a welfare queen, and I pretty much got spat on with my kids. So, yeah. It's just a cycle of hatred that white men use in power so that they can keep power. And these idiots fall for it. So, have a
I
nice
agree.
day.
Thank you.
I had to vent because I'm tired of watching this and listening to people just be vile.
I hear you. Thank you. I appreciate
Okay,
it.
thanks.
All right, Joanne.
Bye.
First ever use of the word arseholes on here, which I appreciated. Here's the deal. I really have to pee so bad. But Jared Moskowitz put out a 13-minute video earlier today of him just like torching Republicans. And so you're going to listen to that for a second while I go to the bathroom, and then I'll be right back.
I want to channel my inner Tim Russert. So let me go to the board, right? And I don't have Florida. But Donald Trump, impeachment. Oh, how many impeachments? We got 2 there. How many indictments? We got 4. How many for Biden? 0, 0. Donald Trump is right. He's sick of winning. He's just winning, running away with it. And that's why we're here. We're here because of meth. That's what this is about. They can't save Donald Trump. They can't take away the 2 impeachments and the 4 indictments, but they can try to put some numbers on the board for Joe Biden. But the problem is when you sling mud, you got to have mud. And they just don't have anything, Mr. Chairman. So much misinformation was spread about COVID-19 in this country by President Trump. One of the things I also think we should investigate is, did the professionals not share the information they had with the president because they didn't trust the president, because every single day he was going out saying this stuff? Or better, going out and telling people they can drink bleach, or they should just go out and put light in the body and we'll get rid of COVID. We need to know why President Trump, who was in charge when COVID happened, he was in charge when COVID got out of control, why he didn't tell the American people the truth. Donald Trump is in so much trouble and they can't save him. But what they can do is they can spend taxpayer money and all the time while they control these hearings to convince the American people that somehow Joe Biden has done something wrong. But there's no evidence. None, zero, zilch, nada, zippo. And you know how I know that? Because they couldn't even bring up their own impeachment. They had to bury it in committee on immigration, not on this.
And we're back. Sorry about that. I've been trying to drink more water. Today's day 1 of drinking more water, and I got up earlier than normal, and it hit me. So I washed my hands. I did 20 seconds. Some lunatic last time told me it had to be like, let's say 45 seconds. What kind of shit is that? It's nonsense. You should try to stop. That's a good joke. Whoever just told me to stop drinking the Kool-Aid. That's actually a pretty good joke. I appreciate that. Random something or other. Random citizen, welcome.
Hey, thank you.
Yeah.
Hey, I was listening to your healthcare chat with that young fella. I assume he was a young guy, not just trolling you. I don't know.
Yeah, let's hope so.
Yeah. I think one of the biggest problems there is no one ever addresses the supply and demand problem we have. Like, we're 35th in developed countries in doctors per capita. Shouldn't be that way. So you turn on Medicare for all. Who provides the service? Don't you think we should fix that first?
The doctors.
There's not enough.
Well, you incentivize more doctors.
How do you do that? You got to fix the education system first, right?
Sure, but you could also pay for the education of the government could pay for the education of doctors.
So we're going to turn on Medicare for all and train doctors for free at the same time?
Yeah.
And where's that funding going to come from?
From the taxpayers.
So now we're squeezing for healthcare for all, which is a noble cause, and now medical school for all.
Not for all.
Or school for all.
Obviously, everybody's not going to be a doctor, right?
Right. College for all, in other words.
Yeah.
So
Why
what
not?
would your
If you're gonna invest in Medicare for all, you're gonna spend all this money, then you do need to get it right. And if we have a shortage of doctors, then we need to fix that, right?
right? I just wonder what kind of tax rates you're heading towards at that kind of rate.
I would say top marginal tax rate should be 90%. Any dollar over 10 million, you should get taxed at 90%.
So what about upper middle class tax rates? Where should those fall, you think?
Depends on the. I mean, I don't think you really have to get that progressive with the tax rate. I don't think we'd have to change it that much until it gets over $10 million. You also there's also speculation taxes. You can increase capital gains. Obviously, we have billionaires, millionaires, and billionaires every single year paying zero in income taxes. Zero.
Right, but the people have run the math on that. It's basically you could strip every dollar from them and couldn't run the government for 9 months.
Well, nobody's saying run the government for 9 months. We're saying give the people health care.
Right, but what I'm saying is obviously there's huge bloat within the government where they could cover it already if that's the case.
Okay, take care of the health care. That's more important than fixing the. If we need to add like cuts other places, specifically the military, I'd be fine with that.
Sure.
Be totally cool with that.
My thing is,
you have people paying $12,000 a year on average for healthcare. Literally, if we just taxed the American people the average of $12,000 a year for Medicare for all, it would pay for Medicare for all.
Sure, and I'm not arguing against the eventual landing on that eventually. I'm not arguing against that. I'm just saying right now that the resources to provide the care aren't there. Maybe over time we can increase that. When I say resources, I mean the actual physicians. There's some reasons for that the government themselves that we're talking about giving more tax dollars to have caused.
You think the government is the root cause for why there is a shortage of doctors?
Somewhat. I mean, I blame them for the giant cost of tuition through the student loan program. They're to blame in a major way on top of the universities themselves, right? But
how about the people handing out the loans, dude?
Yeah, but they wouldn't do that without the government guarantee, the backing.
That's correct, but it's a weird thing we do in this country, where we demonize the government for literally everything. The government that passed that legislation, that government doesn't even exist anymore. None of those people are even still around. But the audacity we might have to say, like, hey, we fucked up, we got to take some of that back. And all you lenders who have made 5, 10, 20, 30x on these student loans, it's fine. We're not backing this shit anymore.
Like, right, 100%.
It's not this, like, the government needs to take that back. The government needs to address that. I agree with you. I think that there's a lot of issues, and some of the things that these universities have done, I really enjoy, like sports. I like that sports are big. I like college football. I like college basketball. But for a lot of programs, like the football team could lose some money if they're not very good. You got to go pay. You want a good coach? You got to pay $5 million for a good coach. I mean, that money could go back into the school. So there's a lot of things that we could fix, but this always seems to be fair enough to you. The sensible people on the right, the people that understand that the argument is solid, but we can't afford it. My question just in return is like, okay, well, if not now, when? Because it's not going to get better. Our spending issues aren't going to get better. Healthcare is getting more and more and more expensive. Big pharma is getting more and more and more expensive. We are having more bankruptcies for medical bills. That's more people who can't buy houses. We got 30 million people uninsured. We have 30 million people who can't go see a doctor. We've got a boomer generation that's about to die off. So that's gonna be really expensive, especially if they don't have health insurance, because when they started working, they thought, oh, I'll have health insurance for life. I'll have a pension. And then all that shit went away. Yeah. We've got real problems. I can't think of one thing that our government could do that's more important than universal health care. I can't. I legitimately don't think there is a single thing more important than universal health care. And yet the sensible Republicans, the ones that understand the argument, always come out and say, like, well, we can't afford it. Well, fuck it, let's just do it, and we'll figure the other shit out later.
Let's figure that out. I agree with that. And here's one thing, not only from a financial perspective, figuring out how to afford it, but the same government that we're talking about, right? Let's eliminate direct-to-consumer advertising on drugs, which no other country does.
Yes,
Let's
absolutely.
eliminate the 40-something poisons in our food that no other country allow, or not no other country, but European countries, for example, don't allow. Things
Sure.
like that would decrease demand and help with healthcare costs. So you can do both. You can decrease costs, which would be decreased costs to the government, let's say.
Right.
You know,
By allowing the government to negotiate for the American people, right? If we're if the government is the one paying the bill, then they can negotiate with these pharmaceutical companies. The amount of leverage we immediately get, you can do this two ways. You can try and legislate it, which isn't going to work because these healthcare companies and these pharmaceutical companies have too much money in the game. They've lined too many pockets. You're not going to be able to legislate this. Or you can give the power back to the people by saying, hey, the government is paying the bill now, and now we're negotiating with the pharmaceutical companies. Sorry about you healthcare people. Like, some of you might get government jobs, some of you will be unemployed, but your industry's you're all crooks anyway, so who cares?
Right. Here's the thing. Who's the highest paid pharmaceutical CEO last year or last couple of years?
I would imagine Pfizer, right?
Yeah, and what was their biggest profit? And it came directly
like 30
from
million.
Yeah, and their biggest cash cow was the government, $100 million.
Yeah,
or I think that number's wrong, maybe more than that, but
it's probably bigger than that. And that's through Medicare, that's through the VA, that's through COVID, that's through all that stuff, right?
Right.
Yeah.
So I mean, they're getting rich anyway, on top of us, right?
Right. So, and at these prices, like, I don't even have a problem with pharmaceutical companies making money. That's fine. I'm not a socialist, despite what some people think, and despite how that might bother some of the people that listen to me. I'm not. I don't hate capitalism, but I hate this kind of capitalism. I hate this capitalism where you have these two monoliths that basically are just like, we're going to extract every single cent that we possibly can at all times. That is our number one goal, is to extract as much out of the people as we can.
100% crony cap. You know, Medicare pays 40% on the dollar of what private insurance pays. So private insurance charges the other people more, and then the cash payers are stuck in the middle trying to figure that out. So yeah, it's a messed up deal. I
when you look at the numbers too for these health insurance companies, basically 3 out of every $10 that you put in actually goes to paying for your medical care. 3 out of every 10. In Medicare, it's like 7.5 to 8 out of every $10 goes to pay for your medical care. It goes to show that the government actually already is far more efficient with our money than these health insurance companies by a large, large margin. They are far more efficient with our money because there's no profit motive for them. Their only motive is to pay the bill. That's it. And they want to negotiate good prices. And frankly, Donald Trump did some stuff with that was good. And Joe Biden's done some good stuff with Medicare. Using Medicare as a platform to negotiate in the last 7 or 8 years has been really, really good for people on Medicare. That pattern, seeing that should remind people that, like, oh my God, like, we can do this. We actually, like, this is a better solution for us. If Medicare, who is full of aging people or people who have health problems, Medicare and Medicaid, if they can do better than our system, and our system wants to kick out all the unhealthy people, then imagine how good it could be. I do think it would be better than what we have now. I think outcomes would be better. And I think it would likely, based on what I've seen, be cheaper than what we have right now.
Does it not make you nervous that without the private insurance propping up the profits, that once that went away, let's say, that the lobbyists would lean on their government folks that they have in their pocket already, the bureaucrats and the elected folks, to just prop their profits up with higher Medicare costs, and then we'd be in the same boat?
You mean like allow when they negotiate, allow, like they would just say like, hey, we'll pay you and negotiate higher prices?
Yeah, well, instead of, now we're paying 80 cents on the dollar instead of 40, and then we end up very close to the same situation with maybe less quality care. I don't know.
I think it's a fair question. I think that the incentive is different, right? Right now, when you get your pockets lined, you have deniability. You have a lot of deniability. You can be like, they just sent this to me like this was the legislation. Here's what I didn't like about the legislation. But you have much more transparency when you're dealing with one essentially insurer or bill payer in the United States government. And we can compare what we pay to other countries. And that kind of transparency should be included in Medicare for All. And if we see that we are still getting charged 4 times more than we are in other countries, we're going to see who voted for that. That's going to be as transparent as possible. Like, right. If we're still paying those kind of prices and we can see who's voting, and we'll know exactly. And then we'll see, oh, where'd that donor money come from? That will be so obvious to everybody.
Yeah, and I think
it still could be corrupted. Everything could be corrupted, but it makes it a lot easier for us as an electorate to recognize corruption and fix it.
And I think that's where a lot of fiscal conservatives, I'd say, you have people come on here and they sound kind of silly. I'm not a Republican, they argue with you about that. I'd say I'm fiscal conservative, socially liberal, if that makes sense. I don't want to say libertarian because they're labeled as crazy, but that's kind of my deal. So and when I fall on the fiscal conservative side, I think I don't trust these folks with my tax dollars or anyone else's. So we say less taxes, let us figure it out. But I get where you're coming from as well. I appreciate your.
Yeah, I consider myself a libertarian socialist. So I think there are a lot of principles of libertarianism. As I went from Republican, I was libertarian. Now I'm where I'm at now. But I do think libertarians have some good ideas, and I think a lot of their ideas vibe with leftism. I actually think there is room in the libertarian ideology for universal health care. When you look at it at its very roots, it's collectivism, and that's okay. If you were living in a true libertarian society, the way that they want it, you would have a lot of collectivism. Your societies would not have a state; it would be a collective, right? I don't think this is that different. I don't think pooling your money to pay for healthcare is really like big government as much as it is collectivism. It's us working together, and we're choosing the government to pay our bill. I don't think it's any different than if we elected some like person in our town. We all agreed this guy's the one that writes the check. I don't think it's that different.
And do you think if elected officials on either side made their platform more, hey, I care about your health. I'm not just talking about health care, but the things we talked about earlier. We're going to eliminate these ingredients in food and this direct-to-consumer advertising of drugs. And if they showed that, hey, we care about your health and we want to provide health care, people would be more apt to say, okay, sign me up. I'll pay more taxes for that.
Sure. Yeah. I don't know if you remember during the Obama years how much shit Michelle Obama got because she wanted school lunches to be forced to be more healthy. And the big knock from Republicans was like, oh, it's going to be too expensive if we're going to have all this healthy food. Like, I don't know if you remember that, but it was a big problem for Republicans. So it would be tricky. But I do think where we're at now, I think that libertarians, people like, I hate saying this, but a guy like Joe Rogan, who's very influential, would be on board with that. People like RFK would be on board with that. You have enough people that would have crossover appeal that, yeah, I do think now's one of those times that you potentially could kill two birds with one stone. I actually think there's enough support there.
Yeah, and I'll give a shout out to one of my favorite candidates right now, which is, I know a lot of people don't like him, but Vivek, trying to get rid of a lot of the bureaucrat bloat. And that's the reason I like him. The things he talks about, getting rid of the fourth branch of government.
He doesn't know
whoever
about.
talks that way, I'm down with that. I like that one.
He knows he knows who he's messaging. He's smart. His brand awareness is good. His ability to explain anything he's possibly going to do is very limited. I hear him say all the right things, and then you ask him what he means, and he can't fucking tell you.
100%. I don't think he has a snowball's chance in hell of winning. I just like his idea of cutting the bureaucracy out of government, because I think they get in the way of both parties a lot. But hey, I appreciate the time, man. Thanks for letting me slide in.
Yeah, we'll see it. I saw that Vivek copied Obama's speech. Like, people have copied people's speeches for a long time now. That's not that new. John Voth, I don't really care. It's not surprising that Vivek stole it. He's incredibly unoriginal. But I don't really care. John, are you there? No, John? John Voth is not there. The box is about to be empty, but old friend, Daddy Roses is here. David Oliveira, RTP Talks, thank you. Daddy Rose, how are you?
I'm amazing, kitten. How are
Where
you?
the hell have you been?
Oh my God, living my best life. I do feel like we need to get caught up.
Last time we talked, you were dying. You were sending me a series on WhatsApp. You sent me a series of pictures that were like you laying on the sidewalk, like I'm going into shock now. Wish me luck. That was the last time we had like a real conversation. You were just dying.
Anaphylactic shock. Yeah. I love that you were the only one that you're like, are you alive? The next day
I was the only.
I guess I should have updated people, but like most people in my life are pretty used to that level of chaos for me at this point.
All right. Well, I wasn't ready for that, but I'm glad you're alive. So what's new?
Oh man, I've started like 5 new businesses. I'm on the island right now.
What's
living
the
my
island?
best life. Like Vancouver Island.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. Hold on.
What,
I think I can put a camera on here. At least. Give me a sec.
you do need to be fully clothed to put on a camera, please, Daddy.
Who are we fighting today?
Who are we fighting?
Yeah.
Ourselves, I think, mostly.
Oh.
We were fighting dumb MAGA, but then we had like back-to-back sensible MAGA, and I think we're done fighting for the day.
Oh.
Who are you fighting for today?
Just my inner demons.
Do you have plans to come back to TikTok at some point and do some more readings?
I was actually just going to say, I feel like we should discuss that because that was a plan we had and then I got busy doing shit. But I'm going to have a lot more time here because the season is coming to an end. So,
what's the season?
Like for my company.
Oh, okay. I wasn't sure if it was like a drug season was over and you're like, I'm going to cool it now as it gets a little cooler, or.
Well, I mean, also, yes.
Going?
Summer's over, so I'm going to be a lot less unhinged on nude beaches and everything else. So, yeah.
Yeah, it's tough to go to the beach when there's snow. For those who don't know, how do I explain what you do?
Which thing?
The zodiac stuff. Just explain that.
Oh, so astrology. Hold on one second.
Astrology. That's the word for it.
I guess somebody else is trying to do business in here as well. Oh, damn. Yeah. So basically, I think it might be the autism as well paired with it, but I just read people for abject filth. And it's not like your Starbucks Western astrology shit. Like, you're not going to get it in a newspaper. We do pretty like comprehensive birth charts and that kind of stuff. I do numerology too. But what it ends up being is the Judaism and the autism come out, and I just insult people at the deep part of their core.
I didn't know you were Jewish. I was unaware of this.
I'm an Indigen-Jew, so I'm half and half. Hold on.
Okay.
Like a coffee cream. Anyway, that's actually how we met. The first conversation we ever had was me reading you for fucking filth.
Yeah, and I thought you were full of shit. I came
you
across your live and
I
think I came in a little hot. Like, this is
you
bullshit.
did?
Yeah, I think so.
It was like 97% ego and smugness, and then we just mopped the floor with it. We've been besties ever since.
Well, until you died, and then I didn't talk to you for like 6 months.
My favorite beta. Yeah, no, I've just been super busy. Like, I've been going through cancer treatment and stuff, so I've been doing what I want to do. But now it looks like this here now. So summer is over.
Whoa.
It's hot tub season. So
it's beautiful.
This is why my hair is. I spent like an hour getting ready yesterday. I'm like, I'm gonna blow dry my hair, and it's gonna be so great. And then I spent 4 hours in the hot tub last night, and I woke up this morning, and my hair was just like insane. And I'm like, wow.
Who spends 4 hours in a hot tub? You were on that. All right, you were on something last night.
I was on many beers and somebody's dick, but that's neither here nor there. I know, and you're messaging me. You're like, what's that song? Tell me right now. I'm like,
Oh, that's right. I didn't know that song. What was that song?
Push by Matchbox 20. And I'm like, I'm getting sent that while I'm getting sent. And I'm like, I am sorry it took me so long to get back to you.
You may have been off TikTok for a while. There's still limits to what you can and cannot say. That's right. No, not try you. It's my TikTok that gets taken down.
Oh, you're fine.
That's right. I went on a Matchbox 20 rewind. I had forgotten all about that song. Push Matchbox. Sounds great. Lyrics are a little. I heard the lyrics and I was like, this isn't maybe what I remembered.
Yeah, no, I have a playlist and it's like elite 90s music and like early 2000s. I'll send it to you, like, because it's on Amazon Music or whatever. But I'll send it to you and you can like. Because so many, every time I play it, people are like, "Oh my god, I forgot about that song." I'm like, "Did you?" Yeah, me too.
So, Big Handsome Lumberjack Man, is this? Are you guys together now? What's going on with Big Handsome Lumberjack Man?
I mean,
did we find love in Canada?
Listen, I feel like we should talk about that off of the app, but like, I manage his OnlyFans for him now. Like,
oh my god, I didn't know that part of the story. Okay.
I'm renovating his entire house for him right now. This is where I am right now. That's where I am as we speak. That's yeah.
That's why you're on the island. Okay, you're now I don't think we're supposed to say that word either. You're now a premium content manager also.
Manager.
A lot has changed.
A lot.
Yeah.
But yeah, no, I feel like if you've been friends for 21 years and you decide to to escalate that, you pretty much just have to, like, you got to go all the way, or what do? You
Sure.
can't break friendships. So
Can we get you to do an event, a reading event? I think since the last time we've talked, the account, I know for sure my account's gotten a lot bigger, so we may have more reach. Are you still open to doing a night of readings?
10,000%. I actually made some backgrounds and everything.
Okay, let's talk about that offline. We'll get there. But everybody follow Daddy Roses, and we'll do something. Those nights are incredibly uncomfortable for me, which works out well for everybody else. You'll see my face be red a lot. So, do you have any? Oh yeah, let's see if we can get Parker and Dean to come on. We can get you to read Parker and Dean in front of everybody. I'll talk to them. We'll see what we can do about it. We might make it a big thing. What about? You had an idea. I can't remember what it was. It was specific types of reading. Do you remember what it was? It was a good idea.
I'm gonna do like birth chart stuff, but I'm gonna do numerology as well.
And it was about specific politicians or famous people.
Yeah.
That's what it was.
So basically, if you guys want to send in to us, so you can message either of us. I think probably on Instagram too, and just give us a suggestion of people from history or politicians that you would like to see why they are the way they are, and I'll read them for filth too, because they're not there to defend themselves.
Okay. Well, here's what I'm gonna do. Bree's setting up. She does all the setting up stuff, but I'm gonna loop you in with Bree, and we're gonna schedule something. We'll come up with a plan.
Sounds good. I actually have a whole line of shirts as well. Like I have a whole new merch line that I haven't dropped that is on all that stuff as well. So that'll be in there for people, and you'll have tons of options so you can tell the world with a sweater why you're the problem.
Sounds good. I'll loop her in. Let's plan. Everybody give Daddy Roses a follow. It's great to see you back alive. I'm very happy about this.
For now. All right. Talk later, babe.
See ya. Bye. All right. What do we got? I don't know if anybody was trying to clear the box if you were coming up to talk to Daddy Roses. She's no longer here. Send that. That should be fun, though. Jack Ash. That's clever. Jack.
Hi there.
Hi. You didn't. I didn't expect that voice to come out of Jack.
Oh well, yeah.
So
now
sweet.
you know Jack.
So Jack Ash sounded like Jack Ash was going to be a little more gruff.
Well, now you know Jack. The less gruff Jack.
Yeah. What's up?
Hey, so I just wanted to answer the question that you have sitting up here. What have Republicans done for you?
Okay.
Are you a Republican?
I certainly am not.
Gotcha. Okay. So I kind of just wanted to say out loud right now that I find it, I want to answer the question, nothing, and they are doing nothing for America right now. And it's funny that all of a sudden they start siding with Biden on the war crimes happening right now in, at least in Gaza. I find it very interesting that all of a sudden they are throwing, support behind Biden in his response with Israel. And I was curious about your take on that.
I try and stay away from this conflict. I think it's super convoluted. I try and stay away from taking a side. The one side that I've really taken is that, honestly, just fuck anybody who's fucking with innocent people. That's where I'm at on it.
Yeah.
If you're hurting innocent people, I have a problem with you. Honestly, I think it's really difficult to have, unfortunately, I think it's really difficult to have honest conversations about it in a public platform because people's emotions get too mixed up. I think that the entire thing is nuanced. I think there's plenty of blame to go around, and I'm not surprised to see. It seemed to me like people waited for the leaders of specific parties to come and take a side, and then they all just quickly went to that side. Donald Trump seemed to play it really slow. He waited to see kind of how public sentiment shook out, and it was like 2 days later, then he's like, I stand with Israel. It wasn't at the start. He waited until he saw where the public was going to go. I don't really necessarily have a side there. I think it's all atrocious.
Yeah, I just kind of wanted to point out that little interesting inconsistency, because a lot of the Republicans say that they're anti-war, but they, what they say doesn't match what they do at all.
Yeah.
And like, and that's one of the things that really just irks me so much about the Republicans in the Republican Party, not the politicians, because I look at them differently, and we sometimes use those terms interchangeably, like just the way that a person might belong to that party and vote for it versus the actual people who are the representatives of that party and exist within that party. And we like to use those terms as like insults, and we throw them around very loosely at each other. But for as far as the beliefs of the people that follow the Republican, doctrine right now, I just find it very interesting that, and this is something to me that kind of blows the whole lid off of the, we don't have to get into the conversation about what's actually happening over there, but we do know that when wartime, ramps up, that's when people start making money. And, when this happens, we can get lost in the sauce on all of this, stuff, but it still is, like you said, the innocent people that are suffering. Standing with the innocent people is really important. And one of the things that we do here is we just propagandize everybody and throw our support behind them. But really, we're like world policing again. And I do think that this is something that Democrats and Republicans can unite on, like the actual people of the party can unite on this, because we both agree. There's no ifs, ands, or buts about it. Like, most people are anti-war.
Yeah.
And it's wild to me that this happens, and then everybody just becomes these bloodthirsty monsters and start, just talking about leveling Gaza. You know what I mean? Like, that's really what they're saying.
I think the sad reality is that Republicans largely don't really have any views. If they see at this point, if they see any opportunity to blame something on Joe Biden or lay it at the shoulders of Democrats, they will do it. It doesn't matter if it's consistent with what they've said before. It doesn't matter if it's consistent with what their leadership has done before. It literally does not matter. They generally can't tell you why, but they're just going to side with, like, does this make Biden look bad? Yes. Can I use it to post on Facebook and make Democrats look bad? Yes. Can I explain it in any sense of the word? No, absolutely not. And that seems to be the case with virtually every issue with the GOP currently. It's sad. Right. It's sad that we legitimately have a political party who stands for nothing, can explain nothing, and just simply... There was a Republican that said it the other day. I don't remember who. Maybe they were talking about the speaker, and he said... It was one of the guys voting for speaker, and they said, what do you think about this? He said, it's embarrassing. I live in a swing state. This could cost me my seat. He said, it seems like a lot of Republicans just want to complain about things and don't want to do anything about it. And I thought that was so honest, coming from a Republican in a purple district, saying, like, our party is literally the party that's doing nothing, and it may cost me my reelection.
Right. And this is golly, this is why I'm saying too, like, the party is imploding, and that's why it's such a convenient time to have this ramping up of all of this geopolitical stuff coming into I swear they use this as distraction. I know that sounds very conspiratorial, but as far as, how long what's been going on over there has been going on over there, it's been going on a really long time. Yes, this was a very big event in something that's been going on for a long time, but it's all about the way it's spun. And that's why I think in circumstances like this, with, the topic, the attention being there, I think we need to bring more eyes to this, and this is where we can, like, unite the sides and recognize that a lot of these politicians, they do have to play the game. That's just is what it is. They have to seek re-election, and they know this is gonna mess them up, and everybody uses the propaganda. But if we can, like, unite under these issues and speak up about these issues, it kind of just makes the politicians irrelevant. Like,
right.
And another thing that I like to point out too, and people don't realize this, like, the way our government is structured, we treat the president as if they are some, like, God, or like, I mean, they are the commander in chief, yes, but at the same time, they don't create the laws. It is the 535, representatives and, members of Congress that actually have the say and influence over the majority of laws that most people are all worried about, but they pretend it's the president, and they give all of this energy to the president, and they spend no time educating themselves on local elections and what's happening in the state at the local city, state, and county levels. And it's just, it's wild to me that this type of propaganda can dominate people's lives. I mean, it becomes their whole identity, where they're flying a Trump flag. And whenever you try to talk about real issues with these people, they can't they just can't even grasp it. They can't grasp it because they've been propagandized to a point where it's all this like football game of like politics where it's this side or this side, and it blows my mind. So I just like to use opportunities like this to remind people that like we have more ability to and say than we like to use, but we give all of this attention to these politicians, and they're supposed to represent us. It doesn't matter what they want. You know what I mean? It's not supposed to matter what they want. It is supposed to be the people that influence them and tell them what to do. That is how our government is structured. But we play this really weird game of like party politics and popularity politics, and we forget that, I think.
Yeah, I agree. I appreciate it. Yeah. Good thoughts.
Well, I appreciate you.
You bet.
And you just keep doing what you're doing. But is this kind of like a Beatty thing then?
A little bit, yeah.
Okay, cool. All right, just making sure.
All right.
Well, have a great day.
You too. Bye. Yeah, sorry. I was just trying to get opposition as we end. The official Eli? Or the official Eli? Gee, how did I fuck that one up? I just want to say, please, I've got 20 minutes left. I'd like opposition for the last 20. So if you are one of the two people in the box and you're not opposition, I have to. I don't like being mean. I really, really don't. But I would appreciate if when I said opposition only that we took that a little bit more seriously. Official Eli.
All right. First of all, hi. First of all, the reason you mispronounced it is because I purposely misspelled it. So that fuck up's more on me than you. I'm not opposition, and I'll happily drop. The only reason I requested is because I was going to give a little bit more insight in regards to the universal health care. Because I've worked at a health insurance company for like 11 years now. But if you don't want to have that conversation right now, that's fine. I'll happily drop.
Yeah, I would like to do opposition just for the last 20, but please come back another time when we're on it. I would love to bring you up.
Okay. All right. No problem.
All right. Thanks, Eli.
Sure.
All right. And then, all right. Well, this is just important. Miss Julie. How are we? Oh no. Miss Julie, where are you?
Hang on, Jay. Sorry, I know I'm not opposition. It's really windy out here.
It sounds like a goat is really struggling with their health behind you. What does that sound, Miss Julie?
I'd say a tropical storm was coming in, but I'm not in the tropics. Hold on, let me duck into this abandoned car. Hang on.
Where are you, Miss Julie?
Oh, sorry about that, Jay. Is this better?
That's much better, Miss Julie. How are things?
Well, I got out of jail today.
Oh, congratulations. Are you
thank you.
You on bond, or did they drop the charges? What happened?
Well, it's hard to tell since after that little accident I had last time, that napkin that my lawyer wrote on, I kind of wiped my ass with it, and so I don't know what the verdict was. I don't even know what I was charged with, Jay. All I know is they told me I was free. Now, I waited out in front of the jail for about 45 minutes, but I guess Uber won't pick up from jail.
That's just,
Does
it
that,
seems like they're missing an opportunity there. How did you get home? Are you walking home?
I'm trying to hitchhike, but what with my little T-Rex arms, I can't really, get my thumb out there very far. Nobody knows what I'm doing. It's just not right.
Did you get your cane back?
Well, I did get my cane back. Otherwise, I'd have been up the river without even a canoe. Jay, I gotta tell you, the girls had a nice party for me. They did a flash mob and everything. But it wasn't the kind where they were stealing stuff like that other guy said. Is that because we're in prison and there's not much to steal?
Maybe. Was it like a dancing flash mob? Was it one of
Yeah.
those? Oh,
Yeah,
that's
they
beautiful.
sang everything.
That is beautiful.
Yeah,
Was there music, or did they make their own music?
Oh no, they sang. Well, they didn't know it, but it's kind of my theme song.
What's the theme song?
"Crazy Bitch" by Buck Cherry. Boy, they had their little coordinated dance, and boy, it was amazing. They even made me a cake, Jay.
Oh my goodness, how was it?
I had no idea you could do so much with prison commissary. I asked for the recipe.
What's the recipe?
Well, it's vanilla wafers, crushed up crunch berries, can of 7-Up, and some strawberry drink mix. You microwave it and mix some more of the strawberry drink mix with some powdered milk for frosting.
And it was good?
Well, I could only have a little bit, what with the sugars and all, but
Sure, that's heavy on the
I'd
sugar.
say it was pretty nice. So
How did things end with Miss Linda?
that's a tough one.
Yeah.
We had gotten into long talk. Hold on there. I finally asked her what she was in for, because, I know you're not supposed to do that, but being that I'm her wife and all,
Sure.
even if it was only for a few days. Yeah, she tried telling me it was for loitering, and then left it at that. And I thought, well, why would that doesn't sound right. And she told me about her life as a financial planner in a previous life. And I thought, well, I like a woman who's responsible with her money. The more we got to talking, it turned out the loitering was actually at the bar, and she had lost a pool game and couldn't pay her debt. So she got caught giving a BJ in the men's room. I didn't know that was loitering. But you gotta admire a woman who pays her bill. I respect
don't think
that.
that's loitering. I don't think
Yeah,
that's
well,
loitering.
maybe she had Dewey, Cheatham, and Howe for her public defenders too.
Yeah. If she got a
I
ticket
tell
for
ya.
loitering and brought that up, it may have been some additional charges that came up.
Well, you never know. She may have had a private meeting with, is it Attorney Cheatham? Yeah, he's the one that likes favors. I've heard about him. So I gave Miss Linda some going away presents.
What did you get for Miss Linda?
A Slim Jim, a book of stamps, 5 packs of ramen, her cell phone,
quite
and
a
my
dowry.
heart.
That's
And
quite a
my
dowry.
heart. Well, I wanted her to have as good a chance as getting a new prison wife as me.
You were very generous in the divorce. You were very, very generous. I think that
Well-
shows a lot about your character, Miss Julie.
Not as financially responsible as Miss Linda, but darn it, she was a good wife to me.
I'm glad
So-
to hear that.
As I was on my way out, boy, Smitty, we got to be so close when I was in there. Smitty was my favorite guard. Yes, Smitty gave me a Newport and a Diet Pepsi and then handed me an umbrella. And I said,
My
now,
God.
Smitty, it's not raining outside. And he said, well, Miss Julie, I don't want the pigeons to get you again. So he gave me a chance to fight back. I thought, now how sweet is that? How sweet is that?
That's
Smitty.
incredibly sweet, Miss Julie. That's so
Oh
sweet.
my goodness.
I'm happy to hear this.
Ugh. I
Well,
tell you.
are you close to home? How far are you from home?
Well, I've been trying to hitchhike, but there's all these signs around saying prison area, do not pick up hitchhikers, maybe escaped convicts. So
That's a good
nobody's,
point.
yeah, they're just not too interested in picking up an old fat lady walking with a cane and waving an umbrella around at some imaginary predators. I guess I look like a crazy lady. So
It probably
anyway,
doesn't help. It probably doesn't help. But I want you to know, if I was there, I would pick you up, Miss Julie.
whoa, Jay. It's just not right to tease me like that. It's just not right. I'm a lesbian, Jay. You stop that right now.
I apologize.
You probably drive one of those big jacked up pickup trucks with the truck nuts on the back.
No, ma'am. Liberal soy boy beta cucks only drive Priuses. You know that. I would not use gasoline. How dare you?
Jay, I thought you'd have it left over from your Republican days.
No, I've washed myself completely of those sins.
Oh my, absolution. He sounds like he might want to be a good Catholic boy after leaving the Mormons.
That's right.
Never know.
Yes.
So I'm still out here hustling it, and I know I have to meet with probation officer this week. So I reckon there's some extended punishment, but we'll find out soon enough. What's that, Jay?
You'll keep us informed?
Oh, yeah, I'll let you know when I find something out. I just want to get home and cuddle up with Miss Kitty Whispers. I have missed her so much.
I'm sure she'll be very hungry.
Well, my cousin, she was supposed to go check on her this week. So, the one I called Superior Sheila, but she thought I was being sincere and got a big head. So now I just call her that bitch. She still answers. So, Republicans, please. So I'm going to get home and put on some comfy PJs and cuddle up with Miss Kitty Whispers. And, well, hopefully I got a new window. And, I forgot about that nest from the pigeons in my chair.
That's right. We'll have to do something about that.
Oh, Jay, am I going to have a fundraiser for a new chair?
Well, listen, if that's the case, you let us know and we'll work with you. Okay, Miss Julie?
I gotta have somewhere to park my big behind, because I get tired from the sugars and, I just need to rest. Well, I'm going to keep on my way home, Jay. I'm going to get out of this here abandoned car. And, it's still mighty windy out here. Oh, my. All right, I better go. I don't want my umbrella to sweep me away.
Be safe, Miss Julie. Please, be safe.
Be good, Jay. Be good.
We'll talk to you soon.
Talk to you soon.
All right, Miss Julie. Thank you so much. Miss Julie. We're glad that she's out of jail. That's the kind of community we have here at RTP Talks. You can go to jail. We'll still be here for you. That's going to do it for me for the day. 9:30 a.m. to 1 p.m. Pacific Standard Time every day, Monday through Friday. Always weird on Monday, and we did not disappoint. It was another weird Monday. I was happy to have it. Started off rough, ended beautifully, and I will see everybody tomorrow morning, 9:30 a.m. See ya.